I'm running out of time, every day goes by so fast. And every moment counts, baby, I don't wanna miss a thing. We can sleep under the stars, we can sleep under the stars, or hang out in hotel bars, driving somewhere in your car. We can sleep under the stars, we can sleep under the stars, under the stars. Take my hand, and we don't need to do the things we don't want to do.
for round 6 for Asia Pac Thursday. Series Blue. Yeah, I had to think about that one. I'm Damiano, and with me we have Justin Tate. Good evening, Justin.
Evening, everyone. Evening, Damiano. Hope you're doing well.
I am. I'm not going to lie. I am a little bit under the weather, but we'll see how we go. And qualifying is already underway with some nice times coming through shortly.
Very good. Look, that's a lovely little skin. Coca-Cola liveried up. Someone's a fan of Coke.
Oh, caffeinated to the top.
Yeah. Porsche's such a sexy car.
Oh, it was tricky. I drove the Porsche last night in split green. Yes, I did full tire management the whole race, and I survived.
That's good. Yeah, it can be a bit difficult when the old tires go off on this rear engine beast, but that's quite a bit of fun. That sounds entertaining, to be the least.
Yeah, so I was slip sliding around. It was like someone was putting soap on the circuit. I had very little control over what I could do.
Awesome. So, Zandvoort, very interesting little track. Challenging. You always got a turn coming. There's only really one straight where you get a little bit of time to think about anything.
Yes, and a very short straight that one it is. Still don't have the banking like they do in the modernised circuit, but still some small banking there to be had. The main feature is to try and get it flat on the last corner into the first straight and the only straight.
Yeah, there's a couple of fast sections, but nowhere really just to straighten up. Makes passing pretty difficult on a track like this. It's only really a couple of passing zones into the main straight, and unless someone else makes a mistake, of course. But yeah, with the zigzagging along this somewhat straight away, it is a flat section, isn't it? Yeah, it's flat.
It's flat chat.
It's just hard to get alongside someone when they're using all the track just to drive the nice racing line. I haven't tried this track in this game. I've only played it in F1. Looks interesting. It would be a lot of fun in a GT car, I bet.
It is. It's certainly a track that rewards having a good flow and without sliding. Because when you start sliding, it's like tenths add into half seconds very, very quickly.
Yeah, and it definitely has a few corners that lead into other corners. So I could see a small, like what you're saying there, a small mistake leading into just half a second off your clock straight away. And yeah, it's quite narrow too. So passing again would be difficult. So qualifying is going to be quite important here, I believe.
Yes, the strategies I've seen. There have been a couple of people at the last half of the grid from the last few races I've seen where there were some people with double stopping, but predominantly everyone I've seen is single stop. As we have some times coming through, that's a sub 35 there for Brit.
Nicely done.
Yeah, I wasn't that good. I can vouch for that. You're saying the McLaren?
It looks pretty speedy. A couple of McLarens, 1 and 2. And then Porsche, Ferrari, Lambo.
It's not a bad mix. Need some more Hondas.
Need some more Hondas? Yeah, I assume the Hondas are a bit like they used to be, right? They used to be pretty fast in a straight line, and that's about it, right? So surely on a tight, windy track like this is the one where they're not that quick.
I don't know. It depends on the driver, I guess.
Okay.
So tonight's format, I think we'll get that as done now, and we'll also do it on the grid. It's a 60-minute race, no mandatory stops, and no pit windows, so everyone can race to the end.
And that's why you did your big long run, no pit stop, right?
Yeah. I think probably about 95%. I think it was the only way to do it. I could have done it, and I think a lot of people were thinking the same thing, but most people would have had to have done 3 seconds faster per lap on the less fuel, and then you got troubles with back markers. So I've had people that were 2 seconds a lap faster than me. I could hold them up for 2 laps at least.
Yeah,
So
that's a good point. It depends on what most of the field's doing. If you're the odd one out, that might catch you out. But if everyone's doing your strategy, you don't want to be the one trying to pass everyone or getting passed by everyone because it'll be costing you time.
Yeah, it's a very, very tricky one. To get through to turn one, you've got to be the driver being overtaken. It's got to be a little bit compliant and willing, which probably shouldn't be if you're battling. Then after that, it's probably a couple of dives on the back end of the circuit, which would be a bit sketchy.
Yeah, again, a hard to pass track. You've got to sort of plan to pass as little as possible. You can't really rely on, oh yeah, I can just blow by this person here and blow by that person there if you go much quicker. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how well people look after their tyres, because this track is pretty notorious for being hard on tyres in other games. So I believe in this game, surely it would be the same. I mean, it's just constantly turning at points. So
yeah, and even with the constant turning, it's like you got some really fast sections, like where we're going through now, and it's a very interesting, twisty left and right, and then after the main hairpin. It's just like a roller coaster ride. I find it really fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's exciting. We've got the picture-in-picture action happening today. That's exciting.
Oh yes, yeah. I think there were some issues with the livery servers last night. We were watching Burst in the Nissan, and his livery was flashing on and off as he's going around while the servers.
Wow.
Yeah, so yeah, that was a bit unfortunate. So a couple of replacement hamsters have been in place, and we'll see how they go. So with just over under 7 minutes to go in qualifying, we got optimum track, 21 degrees ambient, 34 track, no wind, and looks like it's sunny days for the beach. Just looking at the times, pretty much everyone's got a time now. So we got Britt, who's 1 minute 34.8, hasn't been beaten yet. That's been now on the cards for 6 minutes now. Then Maddox, Vettiger, Conboy, Thomas. Probably not really being so fast in the last few races, so we'll probably get an upgrade. Then we got Bell, Waharu, and Flock all still going. McKellar, Bud now. Who else is less than a second? Cook. Cook is still going. Down to 13th place, all within a second. It's a very tight pack.
Yeah, Split Blue's definitely always putting on the close battles. I don't think I've seen times where there was pretty much more than a second out past 10th place. It was always a quiet little gaggle of cars. It's turning him out to be quite alright. I actually want to bring up the leaderboard for the championship and see where that's at. I have that saved somewhere.
I have an interesting observation in the leaderboard, but you can go through it and I'll bring up my observation.
Yeah, give me a... Let me find it. I have it here. I had it here and I've closed it somehow.
Yeah,
if I open enough windows, it'll be there.
HTTP
yeah.
colon.
There it is. Right there. Split Blue.
As you're doing that, Britt's improved his time by 0.4.
Very good. Okay. So it has swapped around a bit because we've had a couple of people miss some rounds. And we've had some pretty topsy-turvy races as well.
Oh, very much so, yes.
Yeah, this is very exciting.
Some more fast times coming in.
Yes,
Paul Britt again. Sorry, I'm watching the replay.
Oh,
sorry
yes.
It's okay.
All good. All good.
He's done the same lap twice. The guy's great.
So, yeah, Josh Vettiger is in the lead by 63 points to Robert Maddox. Ferris Stanley is still in third place, even though they've only completed 3 rounds.
Just saying that, sorry, I interrupt. Josh and Ferris don't appear to be on the qualifying board at the moment.
No, that's what I was thinking, yeah. So, Ferris has only done 3 rounds. I believe they were the first 3, so I haven't, or unless it was last weekend he was there. I don't remember seeing them. and then Jamie Convoy, and then Mia Rose. So Mia is in 5th place, and then 6th on our thing, which is actually first for Pro-Am. Eric Scarney is leading the way. There's a number of Scarney fans in chat, I know that, but only by 5 points to Alex Pass. So that's the Porsche Ferrari battle there. And then the next Pro-Am, the 3rd place, is Jake McCullough, who is, what's the difference there? I've got to math that out. About 100 points down on, 95 points down on 2nd place. So the front 2 are miles ahead, but only 5 points the difference between 1st and 2nd in Pro-Am. Let's go down to the amateurs. George Cook seems to be quite a fair way ahead of 2nd place, 60 points ahead of Ben Thomas, and then Mike Crick in 3rd place in the amateurs. So they're the ones to watch out for tonight if they're on the server. Looks like we've got Ben Thomas in there, going quite speedy in 7th place. That's very fast.
And Capel as well, in a Ferrari, doing the job. Only 2 Ferraris in the top 10 on this circuit. And to my observation, did you know that Eric Scarney is actually outraced Mia Rose with pure race points? Mia is only in front because she's able to out-qualify Eric.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Yes. I mean, Mia has missed 1 race, but yes, the points are that close between 6th and 5th on the leaderboard that he's been doing a really good job finishing consistently up towards the pointy end, that means.
Yeah, well, leading the Pro-Ams. I've been trying to curse him every week and it's not working out, so we'll see. He gets annoyed with me every time I say something in his streams. I'm going to commentate your curse tonight. He goes, you do, but it never happens. But now we said it. Let's see what happens. Under 2 minutes now for qualifying. Anyone who is... still some 2 lappers to go. We've got Britt over Maddox by 0.6. Waru, Vedigar also about 0.6 down. Convoy, Johnson, Thomas, Capel within about a second. And Butnow and Bell leading out the top 10.
Very good. And do we even have any of the... Oh, I've got Maddox. So 2nd place in the championship is currently 2nd place on the grid.
Yep.
And that's very tight between 2nd through to... Wow. Like, remove Paul Britt from the server and it's stupidly close. He's 6.7 tenths ahead of everyone.
Yeah.
And then it's like 1 second difference all the way down to 17th. So it is very tight. But Paul Britt is showing his pace. That is very quick.
And the leading Pro-Ams, Paz and Scarney, are currently in 19th and 21st position on the grid, where overall they are 6th and 7th in the championship.
Yeah, so, wow. This is causing a big shake-up
it is.
This weekend already, I think.
And only a 2-second split for the first 23 cars.
Yeah, that's amazing. And the fact that the leader is 7 tenths ahead nearly is ridiculous with how close everyone else is. They must have found something special.
Yep, just quickly, we got Maddox finishing his lap shortly. And did he get up there? No. Sorry, I was a bit delayed there. I keep watching the replay screen.
Yeah, it's all good. It's sort of a little bit... No one's really improving much, but I think... Oh, as the Ferrari has jumped up into 2nd place of Jay Whittaker. Great job, Bols. I can't quite read the time, so... Oh, there it's 4.5 off the pace. So, jumping a couple of tenths ahead of Maddox.
Right, and good news, I've taken a copy of the qualifying times.
Oh, yes.
So I'm ready now, prepared this week. I've been thinking about it all day.
Oh, one more coming across the line. Who's going to come across the line? Pass. Oh, and Pass gets up to 10th.
Oh, right, that's a good one.
Saw that zip in there. Gained a couple of tenths. Okay.
Sorry, just adjusting some of my own screens here.
That's all good. It's yeah, we're missing a few of the pro drivers this week, but yeah, this is a good chance for the amateurs and pro-ams to get even more points on the field.
Yeah. So the race we currently got, it's all sunny. I'm gonna stretch it out there and say probably unlikely to have rain. Track's optimum. Temperature a little bit warmer, 22 degrees ambient and 27 track. No wind.
That's interesting. No wind, so yeah, it should stay the conditions it is. It is only an hour race, so it's gonna most likely not change with no wind. If it was high wind, maybe you got a chance.
Yeah, it's. I'm not sure how exactly how that meta works. I need to watch more replays of some of the races that were raining.
Yeah, it's if it was somewhat realistic, which this game tries to be. I assume when there's wind around is when the weather changes, if that makes sense, like more quickly.
Yeah, that's
what
what
I
I
move clouds across, right?
Yeah, exactly. The change of wind, change of weather. Yeah, I'm doing. It's a stretch, I know.
All right. So
Yeah, I'm doing the same. Who's really out of position is what I'm looking at. No one. Some of the ants, but Capel. That's a new name for me.
Yes.
Here we go. Some liveries. Oh, that Ferrari from Vetiga looked very interesting. Had some artwork on it.
I love these. I love the liveries in this class. There's some really nice inspired ones from classic liveries at a time, and sponsors, the Valvoline there being one of them.
Yeah.
And then some really nice little custom ones, and then we've got the Pineapple Mobile, which I don't think's in today.
It's found a pizza. That's what I heard.
And then it got banned, I assume.
That's it.
It found a pizza and got banned, so there's like that.
Gotta pull it out.
Gotta pull it out.
Yep, that's it. Oh no, it's there. It's at the back.
Oh no, it's it. Yep. It has to start in near last place. That's why.
Here we go. So we're going to be leading out for the opening formation lab. Any picks for tonight?
Is it El? Was that El Capel? I will really want to see. I'm trying to find them on the. Are they new to this group? Because I don't see them on the leaderboard. I should just use the find function. That's what computers have that for.
Oh, you're right. He's new.
Yeah, not even scored a point yet. So probably a newcomer to the series, or potentially moved slot. Said, I can't do my normal time slot. Can I swap across?
Oh, potentially,
But
yes.
8th place is pretty good for an amateur. So it'll be interesting to see. But there's a difference between doing a good qualifying time and putting a race together and not making any mistakes. That's a really big thing. And this is the type of track where when you make a mistake, often it hurts quite badly. Because there's a lot of walls.
Okay. I've only just got to the YouTube chat. Sorry, Glenn. Some comments saying that the car sounds are low. And more comments coming in from one from Lord JC for a podium. Not far off. There's always been a bit of nastiness on lap one, unfortunately. I'm going to go with Brett for the win on this one. I think if he can get out and get the lead, it's job done.
The pace that he showed in qualifying is ridiculous. So unless he has a really poor strategy, like he picks a strategy that doesn't seem to work, whether that, like being an optimum track, surely that's the chance you can run your tyres long. If it was greasy or something like that, then you're going to be sliding around a fair bit more and that sort of thing. So surely this is the moment to run this. Because we're starting to get the side-by-side formation now.
I'll let you do the call. I'll keep an eye at the back. I don't think I'll be able to react fast enough to the call. So I'll keep an eye out for the yellows for us.
I was going to say, this is going to be quite hard to stay too wide through this section. They're going to go single file and then go back into double file for the last couple of corners. This is going to look nice. Oh man. I love side-by-side formations. It's such a good way. Rolling starts is such an interesting way to do starts.
Like colourful. And even then, I've seen some cars have some bad starts and they lose so many spots just from not reacting quickly enough.
Yeah.
I.e.
All right.
Bathurst.
Safety
Off you
car
go.
pulls away. Here we go. So, Brit taking us away. And, we're waiting for the green flag. Nice formation here. This is nice and tight up the front. Top 10 are really nice and tight. What we'd love to see. Going a fair way down straight. Lights gone green. Got a couple with a pretty good jump there, but they've had to lift off. It's hard with looking potentially 3 wide a little bit further down the pack. Pretty even, no bumping and touching yet. A few people getting close, but no worries through. Good chunk of the field's through cleanly. Oh, as I say that, I've done it, I've cursed it. I said the
I think
word.
that was Bud now.
Oh no. What have I done?
Oh, there's a
Right
second
as I
car
said
off.
that. Yeah, and another one's off. Oh man, that's commentator curse right there. Oh no, Mike Crink's off. One of the crowd favourites. Third in the AM series, but hopefully hasn't done too much damage. I can't believe it. Literally, as I said the word cleanly, there was touching and so on. Just a trip over the nose though, nothing malicious there. It's just a little bit, as we've got another yellow flag up at the really fast part of the track.
Ease it out, break yourself there. No safety car. Car seem to be still under pace. That is Lewis having a little excursion into the dunes.
Had too many people come off, which is a good sign. The front 8 seemed to go around pretty smoothly. We did lose. Well, Jamie's actually gained a couple of positions. Benefit of being in the right spot at the right time. Piers with Capples dropped back a couple, and Thomas has jumped up 1 or 2 as well. So those amateurs that started side by side are now separated by 3 cars. Alex Bass, who was on P10, is into 8th as well. So a few winners and losers from the first lap. Oh, so we got pretty deep there, and all got side by side.
3 and 4.
Yeah.
And it was Bub now had contact. He dropped 5 positions on the opening lap. As we're watching Jamie Conboy taking an alternative line to get a better run out. And the top 5 appear to 4 have stretched their legs out a little bit. As there's another yellow at the hairpin.
Oh no.
That was mid-pack.
Car stuck. Quite, oh, it's a start-finish line. Never mind. Oh yeah, there's a couple of cars stuck there. I was like, there's a lot of grey there. Oh, he's waiting as well. Okay. So maybe accidentally causing a spin there and waiting, or just waiting. Maybe they're both in a spin. Never really quite know because I've got the end of it, but sometimes people, when they accidentally bump someone, they're like, I'll just let you recover and I'll go behind you. That's my penalty for myself.
Not necessarily
that was
good.
Gentlemanly racing there, where it was like, well, hurry up, turn around, and I'll take off after you anyway, even if it wasn't that.
Yeah, and it was Carlson, the AM, it was the fastest lap currently.
Oh yes, that was first lap though, right? Yeah, because
So take it where you can.
Coming across the line, zooming at full speed while the leaders were doing 80. But yeah, that's true. Here we go. Here's the time double. So 36.
Yeah, that looks like
an 8 or 6.
a little bit blurry. I'll have to change my glasses again. Put the Coke bottles back on, I think I will.
So good. Discord streaming forward. Yeah, it looks beautiful on the t-shirt. Yeah, so it was an 8. 30. Oh, 35. It was a 5. So I got that number wrong, not the number I was trying to guess.
Good starter we got as Eric Scarney. 16th, where he qualified 23rd? 21st. So he made 5 spots.
Yep.
And Preciado also had a good start. He's 15th, he made 2 spots. So I think these two would be good to watch. As Harrod is in the Honda is behind Eric Scarney. Where did Harrod go? He was 18th. So Harrod has also made a spot as well. Oh, replay time.
Oh. Yeah, that's unfortunate.
That's
That's why he sat there gone. Like, that's the driver's way of saying, this is definitely my fault. Please go ahead of me, sir. Like, I don't. It's the nice thing to do. Just let them recover and sort of show that you're sorry. I've done it in real life. I've sat there and waved at the person and said, sorry, go.
Oh no. Oh no.
Then, yeah, you just sit in there like, don't be mad, go, get out of here, and I'll follow you. Hope your car's not broke too bad.
Too much. Don't send me the bill.
Yeah, exactly. Oh dear.
What was I going to say? Carry me, Justin, while I get my thought together.
Oh, that's okay. So, we've still got this these two in the middle going fast. Let's see if they can catch the pack in front. They've got about a 6... No, they've got about a 2-second gap to guys in front. And, we'll see how that ends up. 2.5 it is. Yeah, keep track of that if they're going to keep going forward, or if that was just a good start.
I was thinking is a lot of the chatter as well was going to be a slow start for people. So when you go really hard in the first couple of laps, that's where you get your most tyre wear. So I wonder if tyre management's come into the effect already for some people.
Yes, and I just realised we've lost. Thomas has gone way back down the field.
Oh yes,
5th or 6th, so
he qualified 7th.
Yeah, I was mentioning at the start that Capel had dropped to 10th and he was up in 5th or 6th, I think it was, 6th it was. So, yeah, dropping 6 places, back down to 3rd in class or 12th on the track. So it must have had a little off somewhere. Mustn't be too bad, hopefully he hasn't damaged the car. Probably just ran wide on some of those gravel trap or something, because we're continuously dropping the times. The fastest time here.
We'll see if any penalties come through in people currently in the top 10. That might give an indication of what may have happened, because there were some yellows early on in laps and turns 1 through to 5.
Maddox is keeping up with Paul at the moment, though. That's exciting. The pace of how much faster Paul was insane. So I'd love to see him be tagged onto, but it has stretched out to 3 seconds and it has only been 4 laps, so that actually is right on about that 6 or 7 tenths faster than everyone. That's really big. So
I think his race pace is roughly what was his time before? Actually, I forgot it already. His qualifying time
5.3, I think. 5.2.
So 35.2.
Yeah.
Whoa, okay, it's only a second slower than his qualifying time. That's a cracking pace.
He's pushing on, so no one seems to be running 2 different Australian.
As Justin has a minor technical issue, as we're watching.
I moved my hand, smacked my mic out of it. So I've got the back. Sorry about that.
Oh, we got Bell. That is horribly noisy. We got Bell under huge pressure from Capel going through the chicane there.
It's all fixed now. It's all not buzzing or anything.
We're good now.
Okay,
that's a good radio check.
Yeah. I literally just was getting too animated and waved my hands around and decided to smash my mic.
Better than your face.
Yeah.
Have an older brother. Yeah, the hand thing. Stop hitting yourself. Looks like if we include Britt, we have 4 battle packs. Britt by himself, Maddox down, and the next top 10, and a bit of a gap, then another battle pack, and then more gaps to the unfortunate spinners from lap 1 and 2. Yeah, looking at the track map, Britt's really pulled out.
It's just pulling away half a second a lap at least. Every lap. This is some serious pace. Pettiger did qualify 2nd in this top back so that seems to be pretty complacent and just chilling. Probably again going the strategy of looking after the tyres, making sure it gets the whole way through.
I'm not sure if our TV director can do it, but Waru and Convoy swapped positions on the opening lap, so I wonder if that was a manoeuvre into the first turn, because those two have swapped positions, and Johnson's remained the same.
Yeah, we definitely that first lap there was a bunch of winners and losers. There was up the front. I mean, again, we've got Pass in 7th place now, who was 10th at the start. So
yeah,
a bunch of people really moving around. A little bit wide there from Maddox. That's closed the gap up.
Pushing very easy to push too hard on the turn 1.
Yeah, just dipped a tyre in the gravel there too. So this is really close now, and Redding is applying a lot of pressure just by pace. I wonder if Maddox is struggling with tyres. Wow, look at the speed of Ferrari there, catching fire. Almost having to lift off to make sure to go through the back of the Lambo there.
I think one of the things with tyres, you won't. Here we go. First penalty's coming through. Drive through. That one for Thomas. Ooh. That must be why he must have been. Was he the one at the that hairpin incident where he backed off?
Thinks. Oh, was it the BMW? Aaron Thomas is the BMW, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't look like it. Was another yellow flag?
Try and remember. Oh, we've got the yellow flag off. Yes, that's right.
At the back.
The first right-hander.
That's an awful place to put a wheel on the grass there, and it'll just suck you into the wall. That one. Hopefully, no damage there. As Lawrence moves away and continues racing.
Probably just a little dip of the wheel on the grass there, or a bit too much inside curb. That's like the two common things there for that corner. Oh, they've spun around again.
Boys, I think it's him again. Too much power on the exit is my guess. Challenging.
Probably a bent car if they have hit the wall. Possibly a bent car if they've hit the wall, like that. Or technical difficulties. I've had my steering wheel come off my rig.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just, I'm a Logitech newbie and have it clamped to the table or whatever, and I've just pulled towards myself a little bit. Oh, off she comes. That's not a lot of fun because I'm not flying a plane. Don't need to go back and forth. So,
Vertigo's really pressuring Maddox. It's like no gap spared as car 91. Another incident at the airport. I think a lot of cars can go off there quite easily as you try to accelerate through turn 3. But Vertigo's really harassing Maddox here.
Definitely applying a good amount of pressure. It's not over applying and not swinging left and right, doing all those sorts of things. We've got another penalties popped up. Second and another. Both getting
Chap is one of the
penalties being changed for 15 seconds on the drive-through.
Good to find out now than after the fact.
Yeah.
A little deep there by Vertigo. This is pushing Maddox. And we got Bricks just stretching his legs some more. Speaking of more penalties coming through. Very heavy-handed and also consistent from the stewarding. Some more lap 1, lap 2 issues.
Yeah, they're just dishing out what needs to be dished out. Again, people just make little mistakes. You've got to be careful not to ruin someone else's race or at least disadvantage someone else's race with your actions. You've got to drive fairly, and sometimes it's a penalty because you accidentally the wrong thing.
Yeah. And as we see, Capital here in position 8, really staying to the back of Pass, the newcomer to this round, as McKellar has a bit of a slide exiting through turn X. I didn't load a circuit map this week, so I'll have to quickly find one.
That's alright. We can make them up as we go. If you like.
Or give them letters.
Yeah,
I remember
letters.
which
There's the GT corner.
which one was Tarzan? Was that
Tarzan.
that was the hairpin? Was that the head? That was called Tarzan, wasn't it? Or was that the straighty bit? Sorry, listeners. Yeah, I didn't warm up enough. I'm sorry.
Let's watch his latest movies with his kids. Yeah, this is a good little battle pack. We've got Bell leading the way in that bright coloured Porsche. Pass, Capel, and Keller.
This guy has dropped a few positions. It's down at 18th now. With that Pro-Am lead. As the one Pro-Am second place gets the penalty for collision. Is that 15 seconds for you? They're all very strong penalties.
On lap 7. Which person spun around? Oh, is that Thomas? Was that Thomas that copped that? Possibly. Is that why?
Possibly, yeah. Because
Thomas has been there for a while. I'm trying to think.
Thomas qualified 7th. He qualified 10th. Pass qualified 10th, so they'd be quite close together. Then got to start and a little bit more, so I think the Pass may. We infer the penalty.
Definitely missed that bit. Absolutely. Back up on the wings again. Just little bunches.
Yeah, that first leading pack is very closely knit together. Like a little mistake, and you're going to be losing 4 positions or 3.
They're definitely. Seems Maddox is pulling them along a little bit. Fittika's sort of not applying the pressure he was a couple of laps ago, but still keeping relatively close. Ferrari's actually quite pacey in different parts of another chat. Is that the second one, or is they just adjusting it?
I think that might be the second one. So I've seen the Vetica, his race pace is about 1.2 seconds slower now than his fastest in the opening. So being held up a little bit by Maddox.
Yeah, maybe they've decided they want to look after their tyres or sort of check in. Oh wow, that's a bit of a slide there. Oh, very wide.
Oh, it's a big
slide. Go.
Challenging at chicane.
I was going to say, do they force this and make this a bit of a braking duel? Backs down. It's hard to go side by side there because you end up on the gravel if it goes wrong.
Oh yeah, it's get the line a little bit wrong. It's very tricky. It's I either need to stop or I end up in a wall.
Well, this is bringing up. How do you say his name? Waru? Yeah. Waru's gained quite a bit actually with this little bit of side-by-side action and a bit of sliding. Again, maybe Maddox has got something not quite right with the setup, or the tyres have gone, they just weren't right. It's moving around a lot. Oh, did we get a little mistake there? Pettigar. That's trying to back off again. So they're pushing. They must be pushing hard. They're making quite a few little mistakes here. Little wheel drops and slides and that sort of thing. And yeah, look how much. But I'm going to keep getting wrong. But Ferrari has caught back up again. Like this is like he's part of his pack now. He wasn't.
Yeah.
A lap ago.
The other thing too, it's really difficult to get track limits on this circuit. I don't even know where you can do it. You know, they're in the wall if you are getting them. But I noticed it's very easy on the exit of the curbs to just lose a little bit of tyre pressure. So it could be that. I've seen a lot of dust being kicked up, and that can quite easily translate into 0.05 pressure. Do that 2 or 3 laps, and all of a sudden you're down by 0.1, and it just starts creeping.
Wow. Look out for those that are still got their races coming.
Yep, keep it on the black stuff. Don't lose your pressure.
So, these guys are... Again, this battle pack, I'm like, oh, they're a bit spread out, but next thing I know, they're like right up on each other's grill again. The Ferrari really pulls up under brakes, doesn't it? So that's...
Yeah. I think Maddox is managing, or he's got an issue, but I'm going to go with managing. And he's also 1.2 seconds off his best time. His best time was a 36 flat.
Wow, so that means Britain out the front door. Low fives, to low fives. It's fast warm. We've got a bit of a crazy moment happening here. Is that off the track? That was... I'm trying to figure out who that was.
I looked away, so
Yeah,
I didn't see.
I think, yeah, it was Carter getting it past potentially on the grass, or like...
Someone's dropping down the list.
Oh, yes, someone's gone wide. So actually it was someone gathering, trying to get back on the track. It was Pass had come off the track and was rejoining, no?
Pass was originally in 7th. Where's he now? Yeah, 16th, yes.
16th,
Good spot. Right, tightens it up. He's only 2 spots now in Scani of P1, P2 Pro-Am.
Wow. The amateurs are all close together.
Yes.
Going back into a bunch, or the Pro-Ams have fallen off and had some mistakes. The amateurs...
Is it working for your OCD or the lineups?
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's not too bad. Oh, it was just the other day when we had like 7 Porsches in a row and we had 2 Lamborghinis either side or whatever it was.
Oh, it was good. It was good.
Yeah, it was very good. I don't usually get into that, but when there's like that ridiculous odds of how many different cars there are in the field and potential, it's pretty good. Seeing like 6 or 7 Porsches in a row.
I was trying to find something. The best I got is P17, 18 and 19 all end in 5.
The numbers, yeah.
You're going to be looking at that all day now.
That's great. So, this, yeah, we've had a bit of a shake-up with a couple of cars coming off in a little section there. Maybe getting a little bit distracted with Pass being off the edge of the track. Figure out which other driver it was, but there was a bit of shuffling on and around. Oh,
a little bit of contact.
Oh, that's not good, but not too bad a spin. Losing a bunch of places, but it's unfortunate.
That was Thomas?
Yeah, oh no, that was...
no, Capel. Oh, that's unfortunate.
That's really disappointing.
The newcomer.
Yeah. Popping a little tag. Welcome to OR. No, just kidding.
2 more cars.
Oh. Yes.
That chicane there.
That looked like... Was that...
It was an orange and a black car.
Was it Pass again? Pass is a very,
No.
very...
It was further up, wasn't it? But it chopped and changed so fast I couldn't keep up.
It was part of that battle pack, so it could have been Pass, or unless it was the other black car. There's Pass in there.
There's a move going on there.
Yeah, no, Pass off the grass. Because Pass has dropped another couple of spots from where he was when we were looking at him in that battle pack. And start, it was 18th.
Yeah, he was a little bit higher and then dropped a few spots. But it's making it very spicy now for those two. I don't think the points at that level of the table will change a lot of things, but as it keeps going, Pass had a great lead over him, and it's lost to the pit.
And Graham Hills actually just pointed out that Pass accidentally hit back at Johnson, so that's what that run wide was there.
So a bit of avoidance, attempted avoidance.
Yeah.
Oh, and another yellow. Probably another touch on the grass. I'm guessing that's around Vitigo spot. Could be Pass again.
It's a single. Yeah,
I think it was.
It's like a Pass. It's not bad to worse.
Yeah, well, I had a slide last night, and my tyres literally took 2 laps to get back under temperature control again. So, and it was just like really squishy for the talent that I have. So potentially, Passes had a slide, and the tyres still need more cooling down, which induces potentially another slide. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that does. There's another Simrigs. His name top further than 19, so maybe it wasn't this time. Stayed.
Looking at the YouTube stream, which is a few seconds behind us, yeah, it was Pass that went off in that corner. Probably a touch on the grass.
Oh, okay. Probably just dropped a lot. Oh, this is the touch. Oh, he's touched the grass there. Just wait, someone else.
Yeah. No. You're right. I think he was going to have some contact, and he did some avoiding action. So to suffer himself, well done, and to not damage another driver, well done. And it's probably cost him less in the long run by not taking a penalty at all. And tip for beginners: if you look like you're going to have a tip someone, turn to the outside of the corner. So the driver in front's going to be turning right, you have a little turn left, and you will have a greater chance of missing.
What year was it? They had a really big crash in the supercars when someone lost their brakes and went down the side and T-boned someone in turn 1 at the Melbourne Grand Prix. That was huge, rode off 2 cars at the start of the season.
Oh wow.
That was, yeah.
For one deal.
Yep, no, it was no brakes, and I want to avoid the car that's directly in front of me. They turned to the inside and T-boned someone at the apex at full speed. Only after losing about 30 k's an hour because they had no brakes.
Air braking, yes.
Yeah, it was very, very scary. Very lucky both drivers walked away from it, but it rode off 2 cars on a non-points round because the supercars never used to count that as a points round. That was like 2019 or 18, I think. Crazy. So, settled down a little bit this battle pack. Spreading out a little bit, but again, we just keep adding new people to it.
Yeah. Just before, Herod was having a good push on Appreciato. Porsche a bit tricky to drive around here, and Herod was quite close for a little while, and still keeping the pressure on. There's a couple of seconds gap, but we're very more closer than that for Appreciato and Buckman. Okay, so while you're checking that, I'll check out the catalogue from Simrigs. So for your sim racing needs, go to Simrigs, sponsor of our Sprint Series. 5% discount if you're a Patreon. Yes, there we go, Simrigs. Thank you. I'm still eyeing off the Sim Magic Alpha Mini, for that wheelbase. Or as Herod had a look around turn 1 of Appreciato, really pushing hard. Keeps it onto the circuit and going well.
It was close, nice racing. Playing tight and hard. Wow, it's looking a lot more pacey all over the back of this Porsche.
Yeah, I think for me as well, I only say I haven't spoken to anyone else about tyre degradation. I always found that around about this stage of the race, no matter which circuit it is, it's about now that the tyres just like drop off. It takes me a while to recover from it.
Yeah, so you just got to get used to it sliding around now at this point. So those that got a little bit harder, their tyres come off.
That's why it dropped down.
By the way, the leader of the Hamilton class. So let's come to the amateur.
2-1 action. It's Fettigan got on the inside of Maddox. Maddox has gone a bit wide. Fettigan's on the inside. He's got a bit of run out. He's going to have the inside for Let's turn. Pushes him wide and keeps it.
Back on the lap. Oh, so they can actually pick it up ahead.
Yeah, you might throw me out. The car colours, they're almost the same.
Very similar, yeah, I was going to say. So, no, Medica actually got by. Pacey, and now JC's playing this the action. So Maddox having a bit of a... Maddox having issues definitely with his team. Short signs having a few big slides and now Medica
Turn one is clearing. Not yet, still there. I saw getting twitchy. He's pushing very hard, and another yellow. Oh, people starting to drop off now. As you were saying, combos pushing, getting very racing.
No, they were going even solid on that one day. They were doing close to seventh.
I think there's a bit of action in the back of the circuit. Not sure which position. Probably low teens, low 20s. A couple of yellows kicking off. And again, it's like 5 yellow flags within the last minute in the same area. Oil on the circuit. Oh, my crick.
Oh no, crick.
Don't damage
the wall. So wants to get back on the track.
Keep going, Mike. You can make it, man. You can do it.
Yeah.
So we had... Go.
Yeah, I was going to say second place, as I've got another penalty popped up for Thomas.
That's his second one.
Yeah, got a lot of penalties being handed out. I was going to say the leading pack on the leader, they're about 2 seconds slower than their best times at the moment. So, yeah, definitely. This is probably why Rediker said I've got to put the hammer down and get going. He's probably not feeling.
See if JC can get past the Lamborghini if he can actually stretch his legs and pull out a bit of a break and chase down Vidigo. He looks very, very pacey. And also Wararu in the other Lamborghini is also keeping station.
Yeah, definitely. Again, these four had driven away from Wararu, but brought right up and chips a wheel in the gravel there, so that's scary.
Eyes been screaming. Oh, right again.
Going.
Oh,
Wait, is JC coming?
No, I think it's a avoiding action. Maybe?
I don't know. That's a bit strange. Yeah, it's very, very offline down the straight. Needing some fresh air. I don't know.
Well, defending fresh air?
Defending fresh air, yeah. Yeah. Well, I believe. Well, in real life, you want to. Your car's getting a bit warm and your tyres are getting a bit warm. You just go into the fresh air to cool it down a bit. So maybe needing that. If that works that well in this game, I should do something.
We don't have the engine temperature. Tyres cooling. I don't think the one thing I do know, there's no underfloor damage in this game to the floor of the car. I know that. But everything else is done quite well. So I would say there'd be... But there's no engine temperature issues. So there are tyre issues. But just thinking. I'm going to go and say no for pulling out. Because you'll get more...
It's what it looks like when someone doesn't real life that pull out and just get as much fresh air into all their vents and ducts and stuff. Maybe brakes. Brakes could be possible.
Yeah.
The brake ducting is definitely something in this game. So if wind speed is affected by the car in front, because it has a drafting effect, it's definitely it knows when it's behind another car. So he's staying in this lap.
I think it's really pulled out some time here. He's over a second and a half.
He's going much quicker, so he's pulled over 7/10 in 2 laps that he's been ahead. I assume this is another JC. His kids have done the livery again. because it wasn't like this last time. Was he even driving the McLaren?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's changed. Is it a move now for Ewan and Bud now?
Gee, that's hard defending on the outside there, but good job. Through.
Ewan and Carter. All right.
Nicely done. BMW was so big.
I know. I didn't realise how small it was.
It looks like a totally different class of car.
It's like a potato wedge.
Yeah, oh wow, zipped away. Wow. That's a big gap pulled down after a couple of corners.
It is. Campbell and P27 had pit stop, so maybe, and it was around about the 30-minute mark. So from what I've seen so far, if that's for tyres, that's the only driver I've seen so far have a mid-race pit.
He didn't serve his penalty.
Extra one.
Another one after the fact. Okay. This is funny. Must have got it right before the pit stop. Oh, right, sorry, right after the pit stop. Yeah.
Or came through then.
Yeah. I mean, I guess if you're going to have a penalty, you almost might as well try and run a different strategy. Just to try and blast through.
So I got a question. I think it was asked last night, which was, no one wants a penalty, but if you had a choice of having a penalty before your pit stop or after your pit stop and taking it to the flag, which, if you had to take one, what would your preference be?
Probably to do it, because, well, it always depends. Like, if you take it and you serve it, there's a chance you can gain that time and / positions back, if that makes sense. But that being said, modern racing is pretty hard to get past sometimes. In some tracks it's hard to get past, so having 15 seconds and just going hard out is sometimes the better way of doing it. Generally you want to fix it up as early as possible and try and chase down the times, but again, I said if it's a hard to pass track, the thought is, well, I will not try and pass more cars and I'll just stay further up the field. It really depends. If you're right up behind someone, there's a chance that you might just have fresh air in front of you if you take your penalty, where if you're stuck behind someone, like say you're JC right now, well, if you had a 15-second penalty, maybe you take that, maybe you've had 5 seconds of fresh air in front of you, you can actually catch that up, if that makes sense. So you're further ahead time-wise. So yeah, it's one of those difficult to call things, but generally it's easier to take the penalty and catch it right at the same time.
I guess the short answer is the situation.
Yeah, it is
so good. Like, wow.
Generally, leaders don't want to take it because they want to try and stay in the lead, but it again depends on the opportunity to pass, some of that sort of thing. I believe in the Formula 1 they have to serve their penalty. They don't actually have a choice. So yeah, that's why I've never not seen someone serve.
We're looking very close on Maddox through turn 10, leading into the chicane. Didn't want to have a bit of a hurry on. 21 minutes left in the race. Sky's all sunny, so guaranteed no rain. Just felt like a little bit there going through the chicane. The grass a few times, so a little bit of pressure loss, but it's like Maddox is also stabilised. So the top 10 we have Britt, Whittaker, Maddox, Conboy, Raru, Bell, McKellar, Johnson, Flock and Thomas in So we got
I was going to say it's quite tight up in a couple of spots there. The field has spread out a bit, but that battle for for third place is still kind of raging on.
Yeah, so Jamie's backed off a little bit. Either had a moment or giving himself a breather for another attack, letting his tyres cool down and having another go. Even I managed to get my left rear to 105 degrees. Yeah, looks like we may have lost you there, Justin, so I'll keep going. That's all right. Because I was going to do an announcement. OOR have a GT3 series where you come and get some prize money. Nothing on the screen to help me talk about it. Sorry, Glenn, I didn't give you any warning on this. We were asked to talk about it a little bit. So the GT3, it's not really a pro series. It's open to everybody. You register with Motorsport Australia and OOR. There is a fee involved for both parts, but the winning pro gets to go to a award ceremony with Motorsport Australia. And there's prize money given out. And if you don't get through the first round of the qualifying, your entry fee gets refunded.
That's good.
Yeah, so looking for more competition there. It's always good to see where you stack up with everybody. Rather than the splits, there's fast splits and slow splits. This will be a good chance to see how you go with the best in Australasia, and it's open to everyone outside of OR as well. So and internationals.
That's awesome. Yeah. Okay, and back at the action, we've got this giant beamer charging through the field, looking for the next person to knock off, which is like the number 11 Porsche. One of my favourite skins in the field, that Valvoline. Again, I just have a soft spot for that Valvoline car. There's been a supercar and other versions of cars over in Europe that have run a very similar skin.
Yeah, it's very iconic.
Yeah.
Easy to see, easy on the eye. And the Porsche beside the BMW also looks a bit small. So Porsche and Lamborghini. The undersized cars.
The beam is just huge. The beam is just huge.
Oh, we need the Bentley.
Yeah, the Bentley is bigger, I guess. Or...
It is. I didn't realise how big it was until I tried to overtake it.
Well, they call it the Boatley for a reason. It's literally handles like a boat.
Should have called it the Ark.
Yeah. Oh man. So, wow, this. It's just really quick. Caught up to the Porsche. Like it's standing still, kind of, and probably going to try and apply some pressure soon. Probably not close enough this lap for a look, but definitely looking racy. Probably looked after these tyres a bit better in the first half of this race. Look at the line difference. Just wow.
Just trying to make it work, right? Oh, yeah, so close.
Probably one of those people that really did. Oh man, he's trying not to crash into him. He's got so much more pace. Must have done a really good job looking after the tyres right at the start, where everyone else has been sliding around a bit, I'd say.
Yeah, that's the smart way to go about it.
There we go.
Is he backing off? Going through there?
It looked like he was going to have a look. Yeah. Oh man, he's all over him. He keeps having to hit the brakes mid-corner so he doesn't run into him. Again, this is the difficulty of this track, the narrowness and the constant turning. It's hard to go offline and get alongside someone.
Great to get an in-car shot of this. It's so close. I wouldn't be able to see the circuit and turn properly.
Yeah, that is also one thing on a track that's similar to this. It can be quite hard to pick where we're going.
So we're on board with Convoy, looking at Maddox.
Yeah,
so we're hoping to look at P13, P12.
That's alright. Convoy's,
but it's a battle for third position, and still sticking is Jamie Convoy and Maddox.
So Jamie's been, again, this is the first up the field we've seen Jamie, I think. And he's quite pacey.
Yeah.
I'd say it's just letting the tyres have a bit of a break, not going too hard as well, because as they were coming up with some lap traffic as well, so this will be interesting to see how they
That's Mike
sort
Crick
their
in
way
front.
past us. Yeah.
Mike's good at blue flags, so this shouldn't impact them at all.
Yeah, no, that was really nice.
Tip for you guys, with needing to go off circuit or do blue flags through on insider corners, just find a nice wide spot and let 2 cars through easy, and you save yourself more time by doing it that way.
Yeah. Oh, gee, JC looks really quick here. That was nice.
Looking pretty stable too. Maddox looks quite twitchy.
Yeah.
Going around.
Yeah. Oh, he's used to...
And by stable, I mean the car looked flat.
That was a nice catch there. That was a very nice catch.
Pushing very hard.
Yeah. So what's he done this lap? A 7 flat again. So JC a bit deep on the brakes, or is he doing the double apex? Oh, he's getting a bit hard on the gas though. He's just got to smoothen out his throttle there. He's probably burning up his tyres a bit doing those slides, and he's dropped a wheel of the grass.
That's not going to help.
Okay, he's pushing hard.
Yeah.
Oh man, and too hard on the gas again. He knows he's on. He's doing all the drifts.
He's got 3 seconds over Waru, so there's no pressure from behind, so he can actually just purely focus at the front.
Yeah, so he's going to have to close that gap back up again, but this will be a bit of fun watching poor JC as we get through. This section of the track is quite interesting. You can really do a bit of damage to your tyres if you go a bit hard here, because there's just such quick corners and then constantly slowing down, hitting that left front really hard.
Yeah, this one here I found very easy to do everything wrong.
JC's got to just turn that traction control up 1 click. It's just he keeps stepping the back out under the throttle. So I reckon if I was his race engineer, I'd be like, just 1 more click on the TC, so you don't keep having the back step out on you there, because he's getting too happy with the throttle. So because he's just killing his tires doing this. If he does this a lot, it's just going to keep sliding and sliding.
Let's see how his times compare. How much has he dropped off? 37.2 over 36.1. So that's 1.1 seconds. That's pretty comparable to everyone else. Oh, very pushing through there.
Yeah.
Turn 1.
Again, I'd say just a little bit greedy with the throttle. Like it's always on the exit. It's as he's applying the throttle, the back just gets light. You watch it here, it'll probably happen again. No? Yes. Smooth. Got to smooth the run that time, but definitely those little wiggles, every time you're doing that, you're just burning some rubber, you're just sliding the car around. Gonna be torturing those poor tyres.
Interesting battle down the back of the pack as we are looking at
Coca-Cola livery for the...
I don't think so. It's a Marilyn Monroe portrait. Is it?
Oh.
Is it? I'm asking.
I'm trying to... Levy's, I'm going to look at it on the YouTube stream and see how bright that is.
Oh, I'm following the car with my head on the screen.
No, it's got Coca-Cola. It's even if it's a Marilyn Monroe holding a Coca-Cola bottle, there's a Coca-Cola bottle on the side of that car too. So I've got a couple of Coke fans in this series. Yeah.
So if the Austin Powers, which one's the Diet Coke? Yeah, okay, I see it better now. Yeah, I saw the bottle and what they call it, the Coca-Cola swish device is what they call it.
Oh man,
it's striking livery. It's got Vodafone on the end plates as well.
Oh yes, it does too. No, it's cool. It's gone with all the red and white sponsors. All the red and white sponsors. Very cool. And again, that bright Porsche of Bell, who's actually quite a fair way up the field, I believe. He didn't qualify up there, did he?
We are checking.
Oh, maybe he did. It's just, I think he dropped back for a little bit there.
P11.
P11, yeah. So he's come up
P12 because Pass got in front at the last minute. So good job.
Yeah, that's great for Bell, doing a really good job racing. Second in class too. Mararu's like driven away though. He's very pacey. He was up near Convoy at one point there, but they've sort of lost him.
Yeah, moved it out
Again.
Jamie's still quite close. What's the other close battles? We got Thomas behind Paz, P18-19. Human and Appreciato in 12 and 13. That's very close. It's only 0.3. We have these two, McKellar on Bell. So there's a few little battles going on. Nothing's decided yet. And yeah, Carter's also closed up as well. So we've got Appreciate, Human, and Carter, P12, 13, 14. Yeah, this battle. So Appreciato holding up in the Porsche, which looked to be the case, doing a great job defending from Human, and which has allowed Carter to close up.
Yeah, I was going to say, because Yemen pulled away from Carter quite quickly as well, so he really is stuck here, I'd say. He's got a lot more pace under the hood, but struggling to find a way past that Porsche. Obviously, oh, look at that. Yeah, again, it just looks like he keeps nearly driving into the back of the Porsche at points of the corner, so...
And the Porsche has enough legs to get the drive out of the corners.
Yep, oh, that's a bit wide.
Yeah, I think he's going to be toast if he has a poor last corner exit.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is the most important part. Like, you got to get a good run here to get the drive pass, but he's given away, what was it, like 5 or 6 car lengths coming onto the straight. So, yeah, that's really the only easy passing spot when it's not even that easy on this track. It's still not a lot of a straight.
And we just crossed over 10 minutes to go. This race is flying along. So that would be, 9 minutes to go. If I knew how to tell the time. It's how many laps is that? What we got? 6 laps?
There's a leader coming through. Yeah, somewhere between. Yeah, it's 130. So, was it 130s? Yeah, 135s.
Yeah, 135. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's it really depends on where the leader is on the track. Mainly, the leader's actually just gone past the line, right? Yeah.
Yeah, leader's at the hairpin.
Wow, Brett has just pulled away by a mile.
Yeah.
Convoy's gone past, actually.
He has? Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. We clicked that. We swapped to that, and that was what we're meant to say.
Maddox off. He went too
off.
deep on turn 3. Yeah, off on the grass.
I looked across. Yeah. Okay, so again, Convoy's definitely got way more pace. So, yeah. I'm going to watch my YouTube replay and see that come. So, yeah, I'll just miss the apex and it just powered understeer.
Yes. So the gap that he's got now is not reflective of the instant overtake. Well, it's going to be interesting how it's all going to work out from P10 down to P23 because there's quite a few penalties kicking off. Eyeballs
cheering for JC in the chat.
Oh yes, sorry chat, I neglected you.
No, it's okay. No, it's Eyeballs just sharing his bias. I think a lot of people are a bit of a JC fan, popular community figure.
That's right, Rusty. Favoline, you know what I mean. I love those ads.
Yeah, JC on for a podium. What is this? Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. That was called out. That was called very early.
He's doing his famous right hand side of the track down the main straight line. So,
looking for the cold tarmac.
Here we go. But this battle's what's going to end? This Porsche seems to be so wide. Or again, just getting the power down so well and making it really hard to pass.
A lot of respect for both these drivers. Is that or Porsche's had a wiggle at the last turn.
Here's the pass. JC to do so a little bit wide there. Does he send it? Puts his nose there and says, "Thank you very much." It's going to be a big brake control into the right left. So obviously JC's brave on the brakes. Nicely done. That's good. Definitely
brave on the brakes. Do you think that's put him through? I don't think
Kind of, yeah. It was very friendly because he popped his nose there, which kind of made him like, well, if I turn down, I'm going to get touched, so I've got to go a bit wide and in that first corner.
We've got to yell at the end of the fast, kinky bits at the back of the circuit. What's that?
Hopefully they don't pull on in front. Oh, they've just gone back.
Teleported.
Oh, it's the pineapple car.
Carlson. Oh,
yeah. Mullock will be happy. Oh, he's just driving along.
Oh,
driving along off the edge of the track. Potential issue with tech, possibly. Like you just drove off the track, so yeah.
Needed a pit stop.
Yeah.
See what I did there?
Yep. Yeah, I know that one. Yeah. Oh, mate, you wouldn't know how many people I know that have like gone to the bathroom in their seat.
in the car or the rig?
In the car. I don't think anyone's that into sim racing that they need to do that, but in cars, yeah. They go, I've spent thousands of dollars to be here. I'm not gonna pull into the pits to go to the bathroom. But I have seen people literally run to the bathroom as well. So if it was practice or something.
Yep. There was a 15-second penalty come through just then. I didn't see who it was. But yeah, I heard many Formula One drivers doing it because they got to hydrate so much.
Yeah, it's and sometimes when you're sick too. Does everyone remember the famous Mark Webber? Oh, I'm not feeling too good. I've got to come in.
Don't worry about it.
No, don't worry. Oh, poor bloke. That's the stuff.
I remember that race. I'm still. That was when Vettel drove into the. Oh, here we go. It was that was Bell going a little bit deep.
A little bit deep.
Oh,
gets good
drive
fun,
out of the corner.
Yeah, it's almost like a line that's like wide in, fast out, slow in, fast out sort of thing. But all just because he went a little bit deep. It definitely lost him some time though.
So what's the close battles we got left now? So we got P6, 7, looking P10, 11. Carter's back up. Oh, here's a replay. Oh, Ewan get. Oh no, Ewan gets a penalty. Oh, he stood out.
Actually, that was down, so he just gave up. Oh, scary! That is so scary.
Yeah, it did look like he held his brakes, so.
No, he did. Good job. Fantastic. That is not a fun place to be facing backwards.
Oh no, and nowhere to turn around.
No. Yeah, you have to use the track map to make sure that it's clear.
Yeah, so P14 got a penalty there, so that's going to drop him out.
Oh, that's disappointing.
Yeah, actually, yes. Scani's moved his way up. He's P15 and 1 second behind Yeoman, who's got the penalty. So
I was going to say the Lambo's disappeared that was in this bunch. Right? Yeah. So maybe that's what the penalty's about? Potentially?
Where did he... Who was it? I should have wrote it down. We had Appreciator, Yeoman, and... Oh, it escapes me. What was Rich Creek?
Can't remember who it was, but there was a Lambo there with them.
It'll be interesting now.
So, gold, orange Lambo. I can't remember who that was.
Yeah. Got 2 laps to go, and this real tight pack. Scani's caught up quite quickly in the last couple of laps. So we've got 3 cars coming up here, and it looks like Vittiger's closing in as well. How far is he back? Not far as well, less than a second. So Preciado holding up. We've got the Preciado train. Oh, very slidey through there.
Yeah, this Preciado's again just somehow managing to have pace because he got caught so quickly, but he's got pace where it matters. Again, look how much this
struggling. He's done a great job.
Yemen's just right up all over him, though. Again, possibly doesn't have the best setup. Look how good the Porsche looks through here. Just pulls away.
Yeah, it's planted though.
Really nice. So
close enough for slipstream?
Nah.
Possibly not.
It's the straight's just not long enough here. You'd have to be so much deeper. Oh no!
Is that look? He's
overshot it. Yeah.
He's made it.
And back pass. All right. So I was going to say you're going to have to be really deep on the brakes here. You can be a bit nasty with that sort of move and sort of like block them out, if that makes sense, and carry them out offline with you. But that's really hard not to end up in the side door.
This is going to be a 6-way fight soon.
Yeah, good job avoiding there. Good job avoiding by the number 11. That was perfect, the swap back.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Well done, appreciate it.
Oh, gee, just his tyres look dead. Yes. His tyres look so dead. Yaman's got to be a couple of seconds lap faster if he got past.
Yeah.
At this point of the race. The race has ended. So
yes.
I think our leader has started another lap, though. Is that right? Yeah. So we're now on halfway through our second last lap with this little battle pack. Oh, man, this is really tight. Again, is he going to have a look? No. Taking a really wide line. Oh, gee.
He gave himself room to get a run and it just went eaten up.
Yeah, there's so many points of this track where it's single file. Like, doesn't matter how many. You could be doing 20 k's an hour faster and you still have to single file it through there. You can't really go around them.
Everyone's catching up.
Again, and then he just gets this beautiful run onto the straight. It's just ridiculous.
Nailed it.
Here we go. Are we going to see another dive bomb?
One more lap. Leader be coming through the last corner now. So that's it's going to be an easy win there.
There we go. So, Paul, Britt, beautiful drive. Very good qualifying. Just way too fast on this track. Well done.
Yeah, had it hooked up. And Vedica with a nice gap to P3.
Would have been interesting to see how he went if he didn't get a little bit held up by Maddox there. Because the gap's not that big, considering how fast Britt pulled away at the start. We'll go back into the battle again.
Ooh.
Oh, no.
Very wide.
Wide off. Don't lose it. Don't touch the wall. Oh!
He's on the circuit.
Get it. Plucker first. Go. Oh, can he go before the traffic comes? There's no one coming, so it's okay. All right, that battle's ended. Oh, is it stalled? He's got it.
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe. Yeah, he's probably had to start the car again. That's the panic. You forget where your start button is because you only start the car. Oh, what's going on here?
No, it's end race. It had me going as well.
I died for like half a second there. Oh, no. I saw his car spinning off and my brain's just like, this game doesn't have oil on the track, right?
Does it?
Oh, does it? Yeah. Oh, man, that'd be a great little hot patch if you could just like blow someone's engine up or something and put oil everywhere.
Over Revit.
Yeah.
Pisciotto, great drive, huge defending, good defending, gets the car home in P13. Job well done. Scarney, good race to finish up. Better go above down Newman. Getting there. Newman's spin at the end probably didn't cost him any positions because there's a bit of a gap and he had a penalty, which I don't think it would have changed his result. That was hard to get out. As we got, this is Newman coming through to finish. The last of the finishes. Yeah. Oh no, we still got Carlson running. No, he's in the pits and safety car in the pits. Last run. And celebrating a lap by Lewis for finishing the race. Lewis was in the pits at one stage, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was off. Lewis. Capel also pitted as well, but ended up a couple laps down. See, the thing about pitting is that if you're a mid packer and you want to do it.
Sorry, Justin, just going through the top tens. We got Britt Vinegar, Convoy, Maddox, Bell, Johnson, McKellar, Flock, and Wararu, and Herod finishing top 10. Pro-Am, we got Bell, Johnson, McKellar, Wararu, Carter, Preciado, Scarney, Vetiga, Yemen, and Lewis. Pass has fallen down to P12 there in Pro-Am. Flock, for the AMs, we have Flock, Thomas, and B. Thomas, then A. Thomas, Cook, Crick, Capel, Carlson, and Lawrence.
What happened to Waru? Waru was 5th place.
Was that Waru? Yes.
He was 5th place until the last lap. Ooh. He was right behind Maddox and Convoy and he's dropped 10 seconds. So did he get a penalty right at the end? 15 seconds or so. He was
no.
He was around 30 seconds behind the leader, and he's ended up 49 seconds behind. So
the penalties are on the right after being corrected for their position on the right.
Wow, must have come off on the last lap or two, or got a puncture or something, or ran out of fuel. Who knows? That's really strange.
Anyhow, congratulations to our podiums. And whoever called JC for podium, you got it.
Well done. All right. Cheers, everyone. Thank you very much for hanging out. Thank you very much for commentating with me.
All right, thank you again, Justin. And next week for the last round at Nürburgring, I believe.
Oh, exciting.
And can you hear me, guys?
As we have a intermittent pause. Well, you're still here, and I'm still here. And we're waiting for the next session to start. I'm going to have another plug for Simrigs. If you're going to buy something new, what would you get from Simrigs?
Oh, I for the longest time was looking at
Oh, what's to talk about? All right, we're out. Enjoy the call, Hobbsy.
Oh, can't wait. All right, everybody, welcome to Octane Online Racing, round 6 here for Split Red. My name is Mitch Hobbs, and I'm here with Mr. Mike Crick, who's literally just jumped in the box as I was about to say his name. How you going, Mike?
Oh, it's like I planned it this way. How you doing, Mitch?
Oh, no. Good. Can't wait for this. Missed a fair chunk of the last race, I must admit, due to other commitments. But looking good and getting fairly close times here as well. Shady Samuel's currently topping the timing field, 34.9 to start. That's a very quick lap.
Yeah, 35's a pretty good pace around here. I've seen the occasional dip into a 33, but that's a pretty rapid sort of lap. But yeah, 34 I think is going to do Shady pretty well here, but there's still 10 minutes, and I reckon he's going to improve on that.
Oh, without a doubt, there's going to be some improvement here. Just trying to slide a little bit through turn 2. Real tough one. Turn 2, a lot of people discovered that. I discovered that the hard way after being net-coded into and ghosted into through there on that one. That was fun.
Oh, it sounds like your lap 1 was similar to my lap 1. Yeah. A bit of there was a bit of a tangle at the rear end of our field, and yeah, nothing in it. Just a bit of typical Kunos physics, and a slight tap to the car next to me ended up sending it into me, and yeah, that was it was almost game over for the rest of the race, unfortunately. But we'll move on. Yes, no, I mean, Shady Samuel's up at the moment. It's a really nice run there through the little tight section. It's a real nasty one to get right. You've got to absolutely nail it. Now coming through too tight, right to left. Oh, he's really thrown it in there. He's going to lose time on exit, though, and does lose all of it, in fact. I think he might have actually backed off a touch there just from the Aston in front. That's okay. Nothing to worry about there. Still, I mean, P2, Sneakers has just gone fastest, 34.8, so we know that Shady Samuel's got at least a 10th in it, so that would put him, 1/10 would put him bang on with what Sneakers has just done, so we might keep an eye on this one. Oh, nice and deep into turn 1, got it rotated beautifully. You cannot ask for anything better. Now through turn 2, it's a real tight one. You've got to basically coast halfway through and then jump on the power as soon as you dare to get the car rotated again. Nice exit through there. Walls 2/10 up, dropped a little bit though, so he's got a fair chunk on Sneakers. Of course, the Lambo, from what I've read in terms of data, does appear to be one of the stronger cars here. Probably the top car, I dare say. I wouldn't call it outright fastest, because there's definitely some other cars that can give it a good run for its money. Ferrari's up there, McLaren's up there, I think even the Merc's up there. So really close battles I'm expecting here in this race. Yeah, I think the big determination will be the whole, there's no mandatory pits. Everyone's pretty much going to stretch their tyres for an hour, and that's going to be probably a more important factor than outright pace as far as the car choice goes. Because, for instance, the Merc is quick around here, but it is a lot harder on its tyres than either the Ferrari or the Lamborghini is. So that does put it at a bit of a disadvantage. Yeah,
that's right. But look at this, 3/10 up from Shady Samuel now. You couldn't ask for better. Lost a little bit on exit, though, coming through. Nice, right, and it doesn't tip the tyres in. Loses a fair chunk of it, though, so it's not going to be enough to get Sneakers, so I think he's not going to be particularly impressed with that one. It's a really good lap from Sneakers, though. Not too far off. He's going to come back in for quick tyre change and then go out for his final run. Only half a tenth off Sneakers. Sweet isn't too far off either. It's just jumped into the 34s. Sneakers is up, though. So Samuel's going to have to pull something magical out if he wants a chance with JP, if he can keep up here.
Yeah, definitely. JP, he's not a big fan of this track, but I mean, you wouldn't know it from watching him careening around and taking all the lines here beautifully, showing pretty much exactly how it's done all the way through that tricky sort of sector 2. It's probably for me, probably the hardest section, but he's handling it well. Coming into this little chicane here, this one's always a little bit tricky, but he's got his line right there. He's lost some time there, unfortunately. Was that through sector 2?
Oh, he's back up though. I'd like you to show me a person who enjoys this track, because it's not me. I can tell you that right now.
I actually really enjoy this track. I love the flow of it.
Okay, and see you later, Mike Crick, this evening.
All right, I'm out.
Dear.
Catch you later, chat.
Oh, hang on, faster time. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, a 34.7. Get excited, people. Sweet is down at the moment. He's done a 9.97. That's really not like my OCD's not liking that one.
And all these top 10 guys, I think, are going to be really pushing as hard as they possibly can. As we're watching Nandes here, who's up quite a fair bit here. But as you see, just losing it a bit through Sector 2. It is an easy section to just bleed some time there, because if you don't get the line right and you just go that little bit wide, the time just disappears on you.
Or, in other words, welcome to Zandvoort, I think is the best way to put it. It's a real nasty one. He might come up just out of Sector 2. He was, just couldn't quite nail the exit. Hang on, Mullock's in chat. We've got to be on our best behaviour now.
Absolutely, always. We're always on our best behaviour, Mitch. What are you talking
absolutely,
about?
that's right. That's a very good point. Fernandez, was down, then up, then down, then up. His delta doesn't know what day it is. He's going to equal his time. I'd say it's about 100th off or something. Yep. So he's going to sit there. Needs a bit of time. Here's Luke Johnson now. Currently up quite a few tenths, in fact. Was 2 tenths up, just coming into that chicane. And that's very wide. Yeah, there is an apex there. I do know it is there.
Yeah, Johnson not quite hooking that chicane up, and it's cost him a lot of time there. He's still green at the moment. Hopefully he holds on to it, and he does seem to hold on to it through this last corner. So go up a bit, but it won't be enough to move his position. And yeah, no, it's just bled a little bit of that time there. It is a track like that for qualifying that Zandvoort does punish it pretty hard, even for a very minor little error in qualifying. And qualifying is so important here because of the very difficult overtaking at this particular track. Looking at Mike Reel, though, who I was in server with him on Saturday, and he was struggling a bit with the Aston, but he seems to have hooked it up here as he goes just 3 tenths faster and goes straight into Chattels. Yeah, straight into the top 10. He was having an absolute struggle. I'm not kidding. I was faster than him, which means he was not going quick, but he does seem to have hooked it all together in the last few days, apparently, because he has just shot straight up into that top 10.
I was going to say, I'd like to see evidence of him being slow after seeing that lap. That's okay. He's got... Well, everyone knows who that is behind him. That's Mitch Bendai, who's always wanting to be recognised in his bright, unique Lamborghini. Let's go with that.
Yeah, we can go with that.
Yeah, Real is up, is up, down, left, right. I don't know what he is. He's actually up now, a 10th. Nailed that. That was a really nice run through there. Good rotate. Oh, wow. Okay.
While we were watching Mike Reel improve his lap time, it looks like Shady has just blitzed that lap time, so he's 1:34.6. So everyone vying for that top position.
Oh yeah, it's definitely up for grabs. And there goes the time for Mike Reel. Couldn't quite nail the exit. I actually would argue that might be one of the toughest corners at Zandvoort, that one, because if you just don't get the grip on the exit or don't get the entry, lock it up, it's a real nasty one. He's backtold now. 2 tenths up. Let's see if he can get the exit right, and does. There's going to be some more time in this, or not. There's some hundredths in it, so 2 tenths. It's going to get him up P7.
Yeah,
Does
7.
so. If you can get a bit more time, I reckon even have a 10th. He could sneak a 10th and a half. He'd sneak up into the top 5.
Yeah, absolutely. All the times here are very close together, especially in that sort of top 10. I think we'll see close times all the way around pretty much throughout the entire field. It's split definitely pretty quick here in split red.
Yeah, absolutely. Sanikas though, oh, he's down. He needs only a 10th to get in front of Shady Samuel, so going to make things very difficult. Sweet's had enough. Mags has also had enough. I was actually watching him in practice. He's looking very fast. In fact, did some really good times, so great to see him up in the top 5. Johnson's still on the lap, only needs half a 10th to get in front of Mags, and was half a 10th up, as I said that, and I've mozzed it. Can he get the apex this time? Yes, he can. There's... Oh.
A little bit too wide there, unfortunately, and he's going to abandon this lap, I think.
Sounds good to me. Although, here's Fernandez. 10th up. Ooh. Teetering on a 10th up. He's just about there. So this could be good. This would put him up into that top 4. Say bye-bye to Mags, top 4 there. But still plenty of the lap to go, so I'm not going to speak too soon. Gets the car rotated in nicely. He's on power nice and early. just down a touch, but still plenty more time to go. Oh, there's a good chunk of time. There's 2/10. This is good. Chucks in the inside, gets a decent, really good exit. In fact, look at the time going there. Let's see if we can nail this. Ooh, even sneaks first in there. Just couldn't nail the exit. It's a real tough one. I personally would take that in second in the Ferrari, but I'm no expert, so don't listen to me. Oh, even Mike Reel there's just had enough. Let's have a look through this little chicane. Chucks in first, uses all of the curb on the right. Nice exit. Oh, this is looking good. This is looking good for P4. I like this. Don't think it's going to be enough for 34.
No, but...
Oh, hit the dirt on the exit, and that's game over.
Yeah, he's just going to be short on that 10th that he needs there. So P5 for Johnson. Johnson's up by a lot.
I was going to say P5 for Johnson. Are you sure?
Sorry.
Wow. That's only... you're right. No, you're right.
No, I was right.
Yep.
That was a good
that,
wasn't it?
It was, yeah, really well done.
Expertly played.
Someone write that down. Mike Crick ruined Johnson's quali. Write that down. Ooh, up a second. Hello. Ooh, I don't think it's going to be enough for a position, though, for Graham. It's a good lap, though. Not far off Rad indeed. So, that is qualifying. That was very close up the top 10 there. I really enjoyed that. As we see the sea of liveries. And there's the track map, if you're interested. We'll get there. There we go. Hey. We found it. So, Corey Sweet couldn't find enough to get up into that top 2. Shady Samuel and JP Sneakers, best mates there from Kovacs, have locked out the front row. Mag starting alongside Sweet with Johnson and Fernandez there on the third row of the grid. Back told Bendai there as well. Bendai there P2 in Pro-Am. Oliver snuck up into the top 10 there with Real on the fifth row of the grid. And then he got Dreyer, Thistlethwaite, Begg, Bushell, Rochford, Smee, Salvaggio, Matthews, Withers, and Haidt for the top 20. Haidt. I'm yet to know, and I'll never know how to pronounce that.
Maybe someone in chat can help us out there. But yeah, interesting looking grid, especially at the front. Interesting that we do have the top 3 real cars at the moment. The new ones. We've got a Lambo, the Ferrari, and a Porsche all up there in our top 3. So it's going to be interesting to see which of those comes out on top at the end of the day. Some new McLarens in there as well. McLaren's pretty quick around here. But I got to give a shout out to Mike Reel, P10 in that Aston. The Aston's not the best car around this track. In fact, front engine cars generally aren't particularly good at Zandvoort, unless you're in sort of the Mercedes or the Bentley. The Bentley's still pretty rapid around here, as far as Bentley times go, that's for sure. But yeah, interesting looking grid, and it'll be interesting to see who survives, whose tyres set on fire first, really, because that's a big thing in this no pit stop race around Zandvoort.
Oh yeah. Well, we've seen actually a couple of drivers go for an interesting strategy of actually pitting 4 tyres because their tyres are either cooked or that was the plan in the first place. So wait to see how that one plays out. I think everyone will basically just go for a no-stopper unless they manage to miscalculate fuel or completely ruin their tyres or have an incident. Hopefully that doesn't happen, though.
Yeah, hopefully we don't have any particularly bad incidents and everyone gets to have a reasonably clean race, because yeah, that's sort of one of the things that can really hurt you in these no pit stop races, because you just don't, if you have a little off or you pick up some damage, 10 seconds or something like that, it can really hurt the rest of your pace because you just don't have the opportunity to pit, because it'll just hurt you so much when nobody else is going to pit. I'm going to put my personal opinion out there. I think Zandvoort should be a 2-stop mandatory. Just my personal opinion.
I'm going to put it out that Zandvoort's a crap track. There you go.
Well, we've heard that opinion already. I was trying to put in some new information, Mitch.
No, we rehash things here. Don't you know? Here comes the Bontley safety car now.
Well, who's your pick, Mitch? Who do you reckon?
Whoa. Whoever. Whoa. I don't think I can give you a name, but whoever can save their tyres, I think will have a very good chance. So, any of the Ferraris, they're pretty good on tyre wear. Lambo, who seem to be pretty good. Don't think I can give you a name though, because I don't bring on Moz anymore.
That's a good shout. I'm going to call it for
So
Peach.
you're going to Moz someone? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to call it for Peach, and he can bill me later for whatever the invoice is. But yeah, no, I think it's hard call between either Shady or Peach. They're both very good at doing long stints. They're both teammates for those endurance races, so they're both quite good at keeping a car nice and stable and consistent. Corey's absolutely got pace, but I know he does struggle with that Porsche, and he never stops complaining about that Porsche.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he knows there's other cars that he could potentially try, but anyway, he just likes to complain about that Porsche, I think. But we'll see. He's definitely got the pace to do it. It's just whether or not those tyres last the whole distance. But we could have any of the outliers up here, any of these guys in that top 10. I mean, all those times are really close together. So if there's an incident, if there's anything that goes wrong, it could be anyone's gauge. But yeah, I think Peach is my call for this one.
One thing I will call is Mags for a podium.
There we go. Okay.
Because I reckon he's looked consistent. Car is overall pretty good in the race, ignoring fuel and low tyre wear. Lower tyre wear, I should say. It's not the lowest tyre wear, but yeah, I think we're going to expect to see some pretty good racing here in Split Red as we go double file round out of sector 2.
Probably shouldn't count Johnson out either, given the pace he was setting right there at the end. If he can keep it consistent, he's got the speed too.
You can't count anyone out at Zandvoort, to be fair.
To be fair, yeah.
Righto, so round the final bend, corner, whatever you'd like to call it, onto the front straight. Samuel has pole, Sneakers P2, Sweet and Mags on the second row of the grid. Johnson and Fernandez there too. As we come down the pit entry, the race start has been initialised. We're about to go green here. We wait for they're gone green now. So Mags dropped way too far back on the start, and that's going to allow Johnson in and get straight up into P4. That was a really bad start from Mags. Goes round the outside though of Johnson. Oh, and there's a car at the back there. I think that might have been Bachtold that had a bit of a moment in the Porsche, and it was. Dieselthwaite here looking around the outside of Pat Oliver. Let's look through turn 2. Mike Reels looking to the outside that turns inside for turn 3 on Pat Oliver. Does look there. Sticks there. Can he make it? Not sure. Have to keep an eye out. Oh, bit of a bounce there. Mike Reels looking on the back now. Doing nicely. Can they hold it? This is a very fast part of the track. You've got to tap the brakes and coast, then accelerate again. Mike Reels in a bit of a drift. Does hold it though. He's got Dreyer behind him. Currently sat, where are they? P5 in Pro-Am at the moment. Shady Samuel is up there too. Here's Fernandez now. Mags has had a really awful start. Don't know where exactly he was in terms of grid position relevant to everyone else. Whoa, fair chunk of the dirt there too. Coming through out of sector 2 into sector 3 they are. This little chicane. Nicely done by all drivers. No real incidents as such, which is good to see at a track like Zandvoort, a tight one that doesn't always portray a lot of overtaking. So it's a nice lap 1.
Yeah, very good lap 1 there. Credit to Peach too for jumping absolutely on that Ferrari at the start. The Ferrari not a good starter off the line, so he's done a very good job there to just take that position on turn 1 from Samuel. So now it's going to be a bit of a battle as Samuel goes very wide there trying to chase down Sneakers, as we see Bendick coming in, taking, yep, he's got the position made. Very good move there on turn 1. Probably one of the only real heavy sort of overtaking positions you can set up here if you get the exit out of the final turn right. But battle's not over yet. Dieselthwaite is chasing.
Yeah, good
Pat
run.
Oliver there in there too.
Yeah, you just took the words right out of my mouth saying Pat Oliver. Looks, I'm Bachtold needs to back out or else that's going to be an incident. Ben Dye though, in his bright Lamborghini, behind Dieselthwaite, P2 and Pro-Am they're fighting for at the moment. Fernandez not too far down the road. Sneakers ahead of Samuel, almost a second now. Sweet's not too far behind. Johnson's there too. Fernandez there too. Mags has dropped back a bit, so that prediction from me is looking not great at the start.
We've got a good train going too. All the cars very close together, even all the way to the back of the grid. So nobody's obviously had any major incidents, which is good to see. Everybody's sort of sticking with the pack. We'll probably see it break up a little bit, but for now, everyone staying very much line to stern here as we see Shady putting on the chase, but Snickers has made a big gap already. I don't know, my curse mustn't be working. I guess I'll have to work on that.
Mine is.
Maybe we only get one.
That could be the case. 35.6 for Sneakers. That's a pretty good lap indeed.
Very good on what should be pretty heavy fuel. And only, like, the tyres really won't be up to temperature yet, so it's a very good opening stint here from Sneakers, as Sweet's starting to just drop off a little bit, and Johnson right up in the diffuser of that Porsche.
It's funny, you say heavy fuel in the Ferrari. I don't think people understand the Ferrari probably was loaded with about 10 litres less than every other car on the track currently.
That's true, yeah. The Ferrari does use basically no fuel. It's almost a hybrid at this point. Because
but hilariously, it's relative to real life. That is the amount of fuel it uses.
Yeah, I'd read that it is quite accurate, that it is very good on its fuel, and it does give it a big advantage, especially in a race like this where you don't have to make that pit stop, because, you carry 10 litres. It's not a huge difference in pace, but it is significant enough, especially when you're looking at...
McLaren.
Very, very sketchy there from Begg.
That had me worried. Dreyer now.
Hold on to it.
Yeah, he did well. Dreyer now's under a bit of pressure. Never mind.
Oh, no, Begg again. Classic McLaren behaviour.
Oh, yeah.
That new McLaren, it's very spicy in the slow corners. Ooh, bit of side-by-side action at the back there with Bushell. Going side-by-side all the way through this final turn. He's going to lose out there. He's going to tuck in behind. Very good work there. Bushell taking the position there from Salveggio.
Rochford, though.
Rochford comes up.
I don't think Rochford quite saw that one coming. He was looking for the dive, but had to react to Salveggio. Just holding off a bit from Bushell. I think he could have snuck up on him a little bit, but Bushell needs to really push up to Begg now. Is already doing.
Yeah, Begg falling off a fair bit. He seems to be struggling. Maybe cooked those tyres a little bit much. So he's trying to slow down and cool them off a little bit. But hopefully he can get back into the groove of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Good to see no real incidents. A couple of cars there just at the back, so maybe some smaller incidents, but nothing huge to report. No safety cars, which is good. Shady Samuel still trying to hold him to the back of Sneakers, but he's just, he's been consistent, both of them, but I think the real game here for both of them is tyre saving. That's a big one, and as he goes wide. Zandvoort, I think a lot of people don't realise when driving Zandvoort, especially in a race like this where there's no mandatory pit stops, as we see a car off, that's Dreyer, and Begg's almost made a mistake, so Bushell's going to come up there. That's certainly a short lap of... Ooh, Shady Samuel has responded. A 35.3, or is that a 2? I can't read.
That's a 3.
It is a 3. I thought it was. It's just classic Discord doing Discord things. That's okay. Yep. Coming through down to the start, finish straight. Shady Samuel did respond to Sneakers, but is that going to be costly over the race? Because as I was about to say before Shady Samuel decided to prove me wrong, Zandvoort's one of those tracks that you don't drive it, it drives you, especially with tyre wear.
Very true. And it really does cost you. Ooh, we have this little battle going on towards the rear of the back here. Kind of all the AMs all stacked up here together in this little train here led by Fleming, I believe, at the front there. Or no, that'd be Rad there in the BMW.
Actually, yeah.
Rad leading this little pack of AMs here. It's like he's toasting them around. as Fleming chases him down. So that's probably the biggest gap we have on track at the moment. I'm having a bit of trouble seeing the gaps at the moment.
If you look at the track map, it's a fairly long train of cars. Not all, of course, in one train, in smaller groups, but still within close enough range to sort of see it as one small train, except, of course, the leaders are just breaking out. They're the top two, just making them look easy. But is that too much of a push too early? Are their tyres going to be off? As Fleming looks on Rad, forced a big mistake from Rad. Big mistake. Zanekas has responded again, a 35-1. So pushing that hard that early, if you ask me, that's a real risk from Zanekas that he's taking, unless he's planning to maybe push hard and go for a weird strategy of pitting maybe, but I wouldn't be risking that. We'll have to keep an eye on it.
Can't see Peach taking that kind of particular strategy in this race, especially given how close Shady's going to be to his pace. If Sneakers pits, then you've got to imagine Shady won't.
Pen there for Dreyer. He's not going to like that one.
No, 10-second penalties. And it must have been an incident that we didn't see.
Yeah, could be a tap, it could be a half spin, maybe a spin that's lost someone position. So not a good start there for Dreyer, as Thistlethwaite doesn't know where the apex is, just goes a bit wide with the fast right-hander. Has got Bendai behind still for P2 and Pro-Am. Fernandez is up ahead in front of Mags, so not a good start there from Mags. Sweet's dropped back a fair chunk now. Johnson's a bit far back too, so they're in their own little sort of second gaps there in the top six.
Yeah, still keeping it nice and close together. It's good to see the Audi still getting a run from some drivers. It's a bit of a hidden gem, the Audi, at this point still. It's still quite a quick car around a lot of different tracks, but it's just a little bit old now, and people just wanting to try the newer cars, I think.
Yeah, exactly. It's, and I think a lot of people don't realise, I said don't realise, a lot of people just think, oh, okay, new cars, they're fast. And in this case, that is technically true, but it doesn't mean they're overall the fastest. They might be fastest at half the tracks, but then they're absolutely rubbish at the others. So, and of course, some people just want to drive them because they're new. Totally understand that, irrespective of them caring about BOP. So, good to see a good mix of cars overall on the grid.
Yeah, good to see. Just a couple of other different cars in the mix, even though, yeah, we're seeing a majority of other cars. But I imagine next season we might see a little bit more variety again, as people have sort of gotten the new cars out of their system.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, in this championship, the drivers did have the opportunity to drive, to do a car swap, without a penalty. So you see Stu Matthews now. I think he's got a bit of damage, or is that just me seeing things?
It's possible he does have some damage. Very slow at the moment.
With the way he's driving, look at that, Yeah,
a bit understeer there, as Rad just absolutely takes him over. So now Matthews under pressure from height, which I've been told in chat is the correct way to pronounce it.
Height.
You pronounce it height.
Fantastic. So, speaking of heights, we're going to new heights, Mike, because there's 3 new series coming next season. Did you know that?
Yes, yeah, there is. There's so much going on at OLR. It's hard to pick a particular championship you want to do, and you kind of want to do them all, but I mean, do you have that time? That's the big question here, as we see Matthews continuing to struggle there. I think pulling out of that battle, maybe looking at doing a pit stop here if the damage is as significant as it looks. Is he almost?
My lord, what was that?
Almost took height out there.
Wow.
Who joins? Yeah, I think that might be a pit stop for Matthews.
Yeah, that
doesn't look like that's damage he can drive with.
But of course, for anyone in chat or new watching in, next series, season 14 Sprint Series sign-ups are out, and so is Stu Matthews by the looks of that. That is not good. That is very bad. Very bad. If you want to go and sign up for the new Sprint Series or the new series of Rookie Series, if you've never raced in a league before and you want to get a bit of practice in, learn to race against other people, great series. Cannot recommend it more. Head to the Octane Online Racing website, octaneonlineracing.com. But in even bigger news, drumroll please, there's a new series, the GT3 Cup, proudly supported by and endorsed by Motorsport Australia. That's a very exciting one. Get involved with top drivers going head-to-head in the qualifying. If you make it into the top 80 to 100, You'll be put into a split, and then you go into the knockout rounds, and then some points are added together, and then we take the top drivers from each of the splits and put them into the finals rounds, where they'll battle it out for the champion of Australia/Asia.
Yeah, it's a great looking series. Yeah, really looking forward to seeing who's going to make it to that top level and then who's going to win the championship. Obviously, there's prize money as well for that series, which is what sort of sets it apart from the sprints, other than obviously the slightly different format with knockouts and all that kind of thing. And yeah, the chance to be officially endorsed as a winner by Motorsport Australia, it's pretty enticing, I'd say, and definitely one that I think a lot of people are going to try and check out, and one that I think we should definitely recommend to anybody who plays ACC, whether they've done esports or anything like that before, whether it be SRO or something like that. That's kind of the thing we're trying to do here at OOR. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. There you go. 10 seconds. Mags, out of position on that one. That would have been that starting position. I was worried that might happen, but don't worry about the penalty. Worry about signing up for the GT3 Cup. There is, of course, prize money for Pro Class and also Pro-Am Class, but also anyone who's outside of the Asia-Pacific region can register. And there is a whole separate prize pool for those people. So get in there, even if you're not in the Asia-Pacific region, because it's going to be a great one. There's a silly amount of rounds. I think there's like 11 rounds in total.
Yeah, I think once you add up all of it, I think sprints are 10.
Six finals with 4 knockout rounds and then qualifying. So 10 races and a qualifying. So, I mean, what more can you ask for? It's going to be all stream, live stewarding, of course, prize money at the end. If you win, you get to go to the Motorsport Australia Gala and get your trophy. I mean, what more could you ask for?
Yeah, I think you've put it together very nicely there, Mitch, and yeah, people should definitely check that out on our website as we continue to watch the battles going down. We've started to see a bit more of a break-up in the field, as we see Salveggio sort of leading a little pack of his own here, train conducting, but doing very well. Top Am at the moment in 15th place, so doing quite well for himself there, as the rest of the field sort of just going about their own pace, and maybe a bit more time management and time maintenance at this sort of 3/4 away through the race now, where people kind of calm down, try and take care of those tyres as they maybe did an initial push on the opening laps. The leaders, of course, though, completely away from everybody else in their own race at the front there. It'll be interesting to see what Shady can put together and whether he can get Peach.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to need to be a bit of a move for Samuel if he wants something to go wrong, unless he's waiting for Sneakers maybe to cook his tyres. I can't imagine that's going to happen straight away. Tyres will start to fall off probably around that half an hour left mark, maybe just a tad after, maybe even earlier if you've pushed maybe a touch too hard. So Sweets is in his own little world at the moment, which is good for tyre saving with no mandatory pit stop. Johnson's also in his own place. Fernandez is there, doesn't need to worry about Max because he's got the penalty. Thistlethwaite's there too, but it's got Bendai right on his behind. Bachtold's in his own little place. Oliver's there though. Reels also being caught by Drea. So a couple of little 2-car battles there, which is great.
Yeah, those drivers with penalties are really going to need to push just a little bit harder in a race like this, because you're not going to have that opportunity to make it up with a pit stop strategy or anything like that. You're stuck with that 10 seconds, so you've got to really push that gap as far as you can. Mag's looking to lose quite a few positions if he doesn't sort of make a bigger gap to the cars behind, but got the pace to do it, so hopefully he can sort of not have that penalty disadvantage him too much.
Yeah, as you see, Bendai now on the back of Thistlethwaite. Been here for most of this beginning of the race. Got that good gap to Bachtold, so he can potentially maybe push and put a little bit of pressure on Thistlethwaite, use up his tyres, and then try and get past. A bit deep though from Bendai, tried to pull it up. It's a real tough one, this whole sort of Sector 2 section. If you even brake slightly too late, you lock the rears or lock the fronts depending on how you've got the brake bias, and that ruins the tyres, it heats them up, and then it's screwed for the next couple of corners. So you really got to be pinpoint accurate. Pinpoint precision was the word I was looking for, but I completely cocked that up.
It's alright, we got the gist. It's all good. Yeah, Vendor just following along pretty calmly here. I kind of want this to wait to sort of jump up into P5 because I'd really like 5 different cars in the top 5. That'd be an amazing way to finish the race.
Yeah, absolutely. Rochford has got Withers behind. So we see... Oh, it's a tough one. Withers is probably going to have the slipstream. So it's good to see. See how that one plays out into turn 1.
Aston's still very quick in a straight line, so with the slipstream, he's going to hold on to the back of him here as he actually is gaining a little bit of time down the straight. Is he going to go for a send? He's thinking. Yeah, always good to have a top line sponsor like that for the event. Even more incentive.
Absolutely. SimMagic GT3 Cup coming your way very soon. Qualifying opens on the 26th of June and closes on the 7th of July. It is at Barcelona, and you can change car between the phases. So after qualifying, you can change car for the knockout rounds. After the knockout rounds, if you make it to the finals, you can change car then, not between every round. So get your name down and get in there and give it a red hot go.
Yeah, definitely. Barcelona is such a good choice, I think, for the qualifying track, given that it's pretty well balanced across all the cars. The BOP there is generally the best and doesn't usually disadvantage any particular car unless you're driving, some of the older cars that we are accepting. You can drive a GTR in the GT3 Cup, which I hope there will be some of our GTR fast aficionados joining the field just so we can see a GTR
Lucas Burrs,
doing well.
coming?
Lucas Burrs better be up there.
Yeah.
I'm sure that the
Ashland
GTR
Reynolds
has been accepted only because Burrs wanted to drive it.
Absolutely. Ashton Reynolds, I better see you made in the Nissan. If not, I'm going to be thoroughly disappointed. Oh, nice. Commentary was cut out for the GT3 Cup this way. Well, there you go. Major sponsor. Bam. SimMagic. Woohoo.
Yep.
Breaking.
Major sponsor announcement. That's all you missed from that.
Yeah.
It was Mitch's amazing spiel. It's the most amazing ad read I've ever heard in my life. So you just have to trust us that Mitch did an amazing job there.
Yeah. Does it shock you, Mike, if I said my father works in radio as an announcer?
Not at all.
No, I didn't think that would shock you. One thing that has shocked me, though, is Thistlewaite going deep. I wasn't expecting that. He was looking really good through that sector. Ben Dye is really going to need to try and capitalise on this.
A bit early to be seeing too much tyre wear, so hopefully he hasn't overcooked it there. It's one of those things that's interesting at Zandvoort. You can sort of cook the tyres without really pushing too hard, especially in Sector 2E. It's very easy to just slide the car by accident there, and it can really put a lot of graining and stuff on there, especially if you did it in the opening laps when the tyres were a bit cold. But yeah, this weight definitely having a bit of a struggle through the last couple of turns there.
Yeah, maybe hasn't quite optimised that setup potentially for race. I know some people just like to chuck the quali set on and then just add some fuel and maybe a bit less rake and then go for the race. I wouldn't recommend at a track like this with the amount of tyre wear you can get if you're using quali type tow or camber.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I tend to do that, but I tend to run a race setup for qualifying instead of the other way around. No, see, I do it the other way around. I run a slow setup even in qualifying.
Yeah, so you do it the wrong way around.
Yeah, that's it.
Right. That I don't know if I like that idea or not. I'm not going to try that.
Well, I wouldn't recommend most people take my advice on how to drive these cars, to be honest, because my track record hasn't been particularly good so far.
Well, they just take advice from the aliens, like Sinekus. Take some advice from him.
Absolutely. Sinekus would definitely tell me
Pip?
not to do that. Yeah, where is Pip? Pip can school absolutely everybody.
Yeah, that's right. Or Andy O'Hara, where are you? Ferris Stanley, where are you, mate? I'm just listing off all the aliens in Sprint Series.
All the aliens. There's a lot of them.
There is. Matthew Lamb, where are you, mate? Oh, I don't know. I can't list off any. Oh, one thing I can list off, though, is those tyres are not very well at the moment on that Audi. They are quite in the negative range, I dare say, and there's still 36 minutes to go. So Thistlethwaite's not going to enjoy this one, I think.
Yeah, I think you're spot on there. That's the second time in turn one that he's just gone a little bit wide there, lost the rear end. So, yeah, definitely struggling with the tyres there. Could just be out of his rhythm. Could just, be a mistake that he's repeating. You can, especially with the pressure that Bendik's putting on him. Wouldn't surprise me if that was it too. No, we see another little slide there. So, yeah, maybe those tyres going off with 36 minutes to go. You're right. He's going to have a pretty tough race from here on out if that is the case.
Absolutely. I mean, even those little slides, that's grip off the tyres that you need around here. That's no doubt about it. Any slide, you're not going to have the same grip after. They definitely heat up as well. Some people think, tyres just heat up. Yeah, I'll be fine. No, you lose grip, especially around here. Other tracks, maybe that is the case. They do heat up a bit and you lose that bit of grip, but it does come back. Around here, that's not the case. You lose the rear, you're going to lose grip, gain heat, and then you're never going to feel those tyres the same again. I can guarantee you that. If you see Thistlethwaite's going to go wide and touch the dirt. Bendai does it a little bit, but it was a bit more controlled. So still plenty of time for a battle here. They've got Mags in front who's got that penalty, who's going to drop down quite a few positions. Thistlethwaite going deep again. I think actually through turn one there he's actually just missing his braking point or he's locking up. I can't quite tell which one he is. But he's definitely struggling. Ooh, hits a curve from Bendai. That's a dangerous one. That's what caused me to do a 360 no-scope into the hairpin there. It was great.
Yes, it is a very deadly hairpin if you get that particular one wrong. Thistlethwaite actually pulling away now, so that mistake from Bendik has cost him quite a bit of time there. He's dropped back now, he's 5/10 behind, but if Thistlethwaite continues to have those issues, I don't think it'll be long before Bendik catches back up. But
yeah, he's already here almost. Look at this. He's going to go wide. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just that sector too.
Oh, he's just in so much more control of the car. Very wide for Thistlethwaite. He's really pushing that car, which I couldn't recommend less at the moment. Oh, look at the micro slide again. Just can't get that thing under control, and it's killing me just seeing the tyres crying.
Yeah, you can almost see the flames coming off them, I think. And it turns out sand isn't good for grip, apparently.
Well, yeah, I'll believe that when I see it. Oh, Bendai had a really nice line. Okay, Thistlethwaite proving the point there that Mike's just brought up, that sand isn't good. It's going to have a pretty average run. Bendai didn't have the greatest either in comparison, considering he didn't touch dirt, but 37.1, it's a bit slow for where they'd like to be. Rockford doesn't know where the apex there is as well, but really just wants to get past Salvaggio here. Currently leading AM class is Salvaggio, so he's doing a good job to be amongst the Pro-Ams in front of 4 of them at the moment, so that's a really good performance. So we see Fernandez is currently leading that Pro-Am class with Thistlethwaite and Bendai in the podium for that class. Yes. Well, top 10, in fact, which is even better.
Yeah, Salvaggio's having a really good race. He's been in P15 pretty much since the start and hasn't given it up yet. Rochford's closing in, and Rochford's definitely a fast customer, but again, it's just so hard to overtake a car on this track, and the BMW being as quick as it is down the straight, and turn one being probably one of the best overtaking spots, is probably giving him a nice little bit of an edge here.
Yeah, absolutely. Salvaggio doing the right things there. Nice coasting. I think Marv doing a little bit late on the turning, but did pull it up for the apex coming through Sector 2 now. Of course, on the exit of this little left-hand tightening bend, they will head into Sector 3. Through they go now. Let's see what kind of an exit Salvaggio can get. That was a nice one there from the M4. Fairly good on exits, the M4, which is surprising considering it's turbocharged. but that's okay. Not a lot of turbo lag in that car.
Yeah, with these GT3 cars, the turbos don't always equal lag. I mean, the Nissan's good for that too. The Nissan absolutely
Have you seen the
rockets.
Ferrari?
The Ferrari doesn't count. The Ferrari's just weird. It breaks
Yeah.
so many different rules. It's such a strange car because everything you'd think should be good about it isn't. But everything that should be bad about it is also not what's bad about it. Fuel usage, all that sort of stuff. So it's a very, very interesting car, the Ferrari. Very stable, very good as an endurance car for sure.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
And it's got heaps of pace, as obviously Senecas is showing us here. Very comfortably leading. He's got about a second and a half to Samuel. Samuel perhaps dropping back, just trying to save the tyres for a final push, but I don't know, my money's still on Senecas here. He hasn't put a foot wrong so far.
Absolutely. The Ferrari sort of reminds me a touch of, I don't know how I'd describe it exactly, but like a more stable, a better sort of top speed 991 GT3 Porsche.
It's very specific, but no,
Yes,
I get what
because
you mean
it's
there.
good under brakes, it's good mid-corner speed, and the entry speed's good. Exits, well, that's where it differs from the Porsche. The exits are rubbish because of the turbo lag this thing has for some weird reason. It seems to have always had turbo lag, the Ferrari. Even the previous one had lag, and don't know why, but it's just a fair chunk. I mean, I guess you've got to balance it out somehow. Whether turbo lag's the way to go, don't know, but Senecas is certainly balancing this one out. Samuel's within a second now, so I think Senecas has made a bit of a mistake, or maybe he's just trying to preserve those tyres a touch more in comparison to Samuel. They've got a good gap to Sweet, so don't think they're really going to worry about that. This is all the way it's actually pit. Okay, has there been an incident, or are his tyres off?
May just have cooked those tyres far too much, or he's gone off. Doesn't look like he hasn't lost enough time, I don't think, but it's hard to tell given that he did pit and the field is so close together. So hopefully we can get a replay of that if something did happen. But yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if he's just said, no, these tyres are gone.
Yeah.
I'm going to just change them and hope for the best.
Yeah, absolutely. Halfway into the race. Thank you, game. Currently, Senecas still leading the race from Samuel. Sweet is there as well, but 9 seconds off. I don't think there's really any hope for him as yet, unless these two get into a bit of a battle, a bit of a scrap. Maybe he can get back in. Johnson's 6 seconds off Sweet, so he's in his own little world, going to try and keep those tyres in check. Fernandez not too far off Johnson as well. Mags, 10-second penalty, so probably won't look at him too much in terms of gaps. He's not going to lose as many positions now. He's probably going to stick to the top 10, I think. Maybe just outside. Pat Oliver there, P3 in Pro-Am now because this will take pitted. I think his tyres may have been in the bin, would be my guess, as Senecas really deep there. So Shady's going to use this opportunity to catch up.
Yep, definitely having their own race, but it is not a dull one. They are very much keeping in line with each other, keeping in check. And it'll be interesting to see if anybody's got there. But, I mean, from what I've heard, Lambo not as good on its tyres as the Ferrari can be. So Samuel may have to work the car a little bit harder than Senecas, especially given that he is the following car. And we haven't talked about any of the aero wash, but there's some pretty bad aero wash here at Zandvoort, especially through some of those big, long, mid-speed banked corners. It can sort of cause you to slide, as we see. It looks like Senecas is actually catching the back of Mercer, I'd say that is. He's got blue flags to worry about, and that does always introduce a little bit of spice, so hopefully we don't have any issues with our blue flags this evening, but I think this one will be okay as we get close to straight here, and that's probably the best opportunity for Mercer to let him go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ooh, Samuel going very wide there, getting into the sand. That's going to hurt him a lot, especially since he may not catch up to Mercer in time, which means he might not have an optimal blue flag situation, although Mercer has... No, he is letting Senecas go, and he's pulled right out of that. Very good there from Mercer, just letting the leaders have their battle. That's good for both drivers there.
Yeah, absolutely. Senecas looking... I don't really want to say it, but he's looking a touch inconsistent. Just keeps making a few mistakes. I mean, he's consistent in lap times, just inconsistent in the laps that he's doing, if that makes sense. The way he's driving them is a bit inconsistent. So, Samuel hits a weird bump there. I haven't actually seen that one before. This gets turned nice, gets on the power. Touching the curbs here can actually put you at risk for pressure loss. I know I had pressure loss on both my left-hand side tyres and was almost down to 24.9 psi come the end of the race. So the drivers really need to keep that one in mind, avoid the curbs where necessary. As Samuel also goes deep there. It's going to hurt him.
Yeah, the pressure loss is definitely a big thing here at Zandvoort. I assume it's something to do with the fact that, it's on a beach and there's sand everywhere, and that's probably not good for the tyres, as we've gone through previously. As we see Grant Begg also coming in for a pit stop. So a couple of drivers choosing to do a pit stop. I don't think we saw any in the previous race from anybody who didn't, no intentional pit stops. But it looks like both of those were somewhat intentional. This will be interesting to look at his pace and whether he can catch up much time, because he will have much better tyres than anybody else on track at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. Smee, though, currently P2 in the M class, is not actually about 5, 6 seconds, 7 seconds down the road from Salvaggio, so maybe a mistake from Salvaggio could put this one back in effect, or...
Ooh, as we see a car off to the
Rochford.
right there. That was Rochford, so that's good news for Salvaggio. That's going to take a lot of pressure off.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Salvaggio is now just in his own little world. No other word for it, really.
Yeah, he's got a big gap ahead, so it doesn't look like he's going to catch Bushell in front, but P1 in his class, and I think he's just going to go into a little bit of maintenance mode and preserve some tyres, even if he does have to slow down a bit, because he's got a beautiful gap behind now.
Yeah, absolutely. Smee now. It's actually... that's... who is that? My team thinks? That's
No,
a
that
Ferrari.
wouldn't be Withers. That must be a
that's
blue
Fleming.
flag.
That's Fleming on Smee. That's what that is. That
Ah.
was doing my head in trying to work that one out. That's Withers just up ahead, though. That's who Fleming's next target is. Got through that one. I wouldn't say that was the smoothest of moves, but got it done in the end. So another position for him.
Yeah, doing well in class. He's only half second off with us here in the Aston Martin. It'll be interesting to see if the McLaren, which apparently is OP, from what I hear at this track, see if he can make the most of it and catch up to Withers. Not many other close gaps that we're looking at. Drea there catching Real, but he's got that 10-second penalty, so it's not going to be a big difference. Real could almost let him go and not worry too much about it, because their pace isn't going to be that different.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think now the drivers, it's only 25 minutes left. I think consistency will be the big one for them. Just trying to keep that one in as much as possible, keep the tyres in, make sure that they don't really drop off too much. They'll obviously drop off, but just not in a very fast way is ideally what they're wanting.
Paddy Oliver here in P9, been here for a while. Just about a second off Bachtold here, 2 Porsches going at it. So it'll be interesting to see which of them has preserved the notoriously bad Porsche tyres better than the other, as we see Paddy going a little bit wide through that big long bend there, but still managing to hold on to that gap, actually gaining a bit of time there through that section. So this will be, it's probably I spoke too soon there. Paddy going a bit wide and getting a bit of a slide on. You have that Porsche obviously doing Porsche things there, but it is interesting to have 2 Porsches this close to each other just to see the difference in who's managed those tyres better.
Yeah, the Porsche's not the best on tyres overall, so I think they're definitely going to be feeling this one. Well, Paddy Oliver's certainly feeling it. It goes really wide. He's got Bachtold up ahead, so not really fighting for Pro-Am higher positions, because Bendai's a long way up the road, 8 seconds in fact, so I think Oliver's goal should just be to keep it on the track, keep it in the top 10, keep in front of Real. Real's got Drea behind, so there's going to be a bit of a battle there, I dare say. If he can stick there even though he does have that 10-second penalty. Yep, and here is that battle. Real went a bit deep to try and cover Dreyer off a bit, but Dreyer saw it coming, so went for the exit and got it beautifully. I wouldn't be looking the inside there. That is a very opportunistic look, maybe just to chuck a bit of pressure on too, but I personally, that would have been very optimistic if he'd have pulled that one off. Cleanly, I should say, because there would have been a bit of argy-bargy, I dare say. Coming through the S's now. Down to the coasting right-hander. Let's have a look and see how this one plays out. Ferrari's usually pretty strong here. That's a big turn of the wheel, so couldn't quite get the fronts gripped up. Definitely starting to drop off. Just over 21 minutes to go now. As Dreyer is fighting for position, but of course fighting also for position in the class. So this will be for P4 in class, but does have that 10-second pen. He's only going to drop one position with that, so I guess it's not the end of the world for him if he only drops the one, but I think he'd prefer not to have that in the first place.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, what do you do if you're Mike here and you're getting too much pressure from Dreyer behind? I mean, as long as you can keep that 10-second gap, which shouldn't be too hard with 20 minutes to go, but it does depend on how confident Mike is in his own pace in that Aston. Yeah. You almost think about letting it go because defending is very hard on your tyres just as much as pushing can be. So, you just want to think about that tactically, but also you kind of do just want to finish P10 on track, don't you?
Well, yeah. Oh, that's deep. That's really deep. He's going to lose some time with that. That's... but things are going to get spicy here. Padola's made a couple more mistakes, so they're going to jump up to him. So maybe Dreyer... Oh, my lord, that was close. That was extremely close there from Dreyer.
I don't think Dreyer's tyres are in very good conditions. What about you?
I think his tyres are still in better condition than Paddy Oliver's are. Because Mike Reel is reeling him in. Oh, what a good one that was. JT, be proud of that one. Getting fairly close, and I think Dreyer might actually... Oh my, that Porsche is looking unstable. I think what Dreyer needs to do here is just wait. Wait for a mistake to be made by one of these two. Wait for them to battle. Wait for an incident if they believe there might be one, and just absolutely take full advantage of it. I mean, they've got 3 seconds of backtold. I can see them just up ahead. Backtold's got a fair chunk to bend, so nothing really is going to come of that one. Coming down to the chicane. Hairpin, lefty, thingo, whatever you'd like to call it.
Corner.
Yeah, corner.
Sort of.
That works too. Oh, Padiolla's going extremely wide there. That would almost be a warning, I dare say, for track limits. Which, surprisingly, are actually quite tough to get here, track limits. But you can certainly get them, and that's a touch to the sand for real. So is this an opportunity for Dreyer now? Has a slipstream. You've basically got to be on their rear bumper, though, to even think about a look to turn one. Let's just hope this time Dreyer can maybe get on the brakes at a more reasonable point. Oh, he's absolutely nailed that. That was perfection, but Real's got the exit because turbo lag on Ferrari things. Shady Samuel, though, on the back of the turbo lagging Ferrari of Sonikas. Look at the exit there, though. Sonikas has just gripped that up beautifully, even with the lag. Not that that's an excuse with Ferrari, because the thing's still very good. It's just one thing to note for exit purposes. And Sonikas goes deep. Samuel goes for a different line. Not going to have the exit that he's optimally looking for. Down to mid-right-hander. Then they're just going to be full chat down to the front straight to the finish line. 18 minutes to go now. What can Samuel do? Does he send it and absolutely ruin the tyres and try and get past? If you're Sonikas, all you have to do is defend. Of course, that's going to use tyres, but can he defend in such a way that it uses more tyres for Samuel than it does him? That's the big question.
Yeah, very interesting little battle at the front here, because it is, like you said, it's not so much about who's faster, because I don't think, I think there's probably tenths in the pace between these two, because they're both very, very quick, but it's about who's going to push harder, who can force the driver behind or in front to push a little bit harder, and who can sort of try and make those errors and those mistakes. Because if you can just make someone push a little bit harder than they're comfortable with, or than they're used to, and they've maybe got a little bit of tyre wear, that can be it. That can be all you need to do, because I'll just go that one little bit wide, and that's the position easily gained for you, as we saw Sneakers mucking up the chicane on the last lap. But he does seem to be pulling out that gap back again. Just see if we get a repeat here, if he's having a consistent problem here, if it was just a one-off.
Yeah, absolutely. Shady Summer did make that mistake through turn 2, went extremely wide and then to brake to get it back on line. Sneakers, oh, even so, I mean, Samuel made the mistake, but Sneakers is just not looking so good on the exit through there, through there. So could be a bit of error and just tyres going off. Of course, only a 30-degree track temp, or 28, sorry, in fact, but doesn't matter the temp. This is a very high tyre usage track as Samuel goes extremely wide onto the straight. That's going to give him probably almost a second gap to Sneakers. Not quite. It's not what he's looking for, though. Samuel tries to send it, locks the rears there. You just saw the rear come around a touch. Maybe he can get turn 2 a little bit better. And does, but Sneakers absolutely nailed it. I think all Sneakers needs to do is just stay in front with just over 16 minutes to go.
You know, it's such a hard track to do an overtake on, even if you've got a second of pace on the person ahead of you, let alone only a couple of tenths. Oh, what a perfect time to cut to dry there, as he just loses it on the sand there. Oh, unfortunate, and that's really going to cost him with that 10-second penalty on Prost. So very big F's in chat for Dryer there.
Yeah, absolutely. He's not going to like that one. Might reel now. Just needs to put an ounce of pressure on Paddy Oliver. I think he's in trouble with those tyres. Todd Smee there as well. Nice battle going on here. This is Withers, Fleming, and that's English. Begg. Is that the Begg's car? Begg's lap, so that doesn't matter. That's why I was having a brain moment, because this is Withers actually fighting Fleming, but Begg with the newer tyres wants to get past, and I'm not so sure I'd allow this if I was Withers. Just because he needs to catch up. And Withers does have every... wow, that was close. Withers does actually have every right to tell Begg to not go past, especially when he's battling like this. Fleming there. Withers... Oh, shit.
Oh, there's that curb you were talking about.
That's that curb. I didn't do it quite in the same way. I hit the grass, then did a 360. He's almost cut Smee off there, but nice recovery there. Could have been worse. Probably touched damage, but... it is what it is. Coming out of hairpin now. Nicely done. Sneakers. This is that battle still going. Through turn 2 they go. Samuel's trying to get on this. Couldn't quite get as tight of a line as I had expected. Maybe those tyres are really starting to drop off now. 15 minutes to go. Just coming up to midday here at Zandvoort. As they come through to the fast right-hander. Who's going to be faster through here? Samuel's looking really fast through there. Just gets so much more grip than JP. So can he capitalise on the grip that he's got in comparison to Sneakers looking through Sector 2? I don't think so. The Ferrari just seems to romp the Lambo through Sector 2, but then the rest of the time the Lambo looks faster. So maybe Samuel's got something in the tank here to get past, but 4/10 gap, that looks like 3/10 to me now. What can Samuel do? He's just sticking the nose in there just to tell Sneakers, hello, I'm here. It's a much nicer run there through Sneakers. Ferrari can't hit that curve though, because it doesn't like it. As simple as that. It's just the car comes straight round if you hit too much of it, so it can only use a tad of it in comparison to the Lambo as they come onto the straight now. Slipstream, that's a bad run for Samuel, so everything to play for here.
Yeah, it's just the ongoing battle. It's like each driver sort of making a mistake every odd lap, and neither one can sort of get move done on the other. They're just following each other around. Each driver sort of making the odd mistake and one catching up, but then they're making their own mistake. And again, you know, we've got to consider that that error which I mentioned before. That can be affecting Samuel here as well, making him go a little bit wider, making him just edge out those tyres that bit further than Sneakers has. Sneakers having the advantage of a pretty clear track ahead. He's had a couple of blue flags to navigate, but not too many. There is a big pack of blue flags coming up, which it does look like he'll catch before the end of the race, depending on their pace, which might add some spice to the proceedings, but hopefully nothing serious comes out of those blue flags ahead, and their pace may be good enough that it doesn't catch them, but Samuel still just, as you've got the nail on the head here. It really is in this Sector 2 section that Ferrari just comes alive and starts to put that pace on Samuel, and Samuel just can't catch up. A little bit of lost of traction there. Sneakers really using that part of the track to his advantage and not really putting a step wrong.
It's really just a game between these two. Follow the leader. It's simple. Both physically, it's the leader, but also following each other. Shady's not making the mistakes for JP's, and JP's not making the mistakes Samuel is. So it's really an even slate here. Got a good old stalemate, but can one driver just keep the mistakes to a minimum in comparison to the other? Nothing's going to come of this so far. Sneakers has pulled that gap back out to 7. Oh, only half a second. I was actually expecting a bit more time looking at that gap. Might reel though. This is Pat Oliver. He's been waiting for this for a numerous amount of laps now. Pat Oliver's tyres look like they might be back in check again, but cannot confirm that as of yet. But Oliver's in a really bad spot if his tyres are starting to go off.
Yeah, Mike's really got to set him up through these final turns here and use the Aston Martin speed to its advantage. Although the new Porsche not too slow on straights anymore, which is probably a good thing for all the Porsche fans out there, because that was its biggest hurdle with the old Porsche. But now it doesn't lose as much, but the Aston is still quicker, I'd say, over this straight line. But it's not a big, long straight, so the Aston may be not able to stretch its legs as much as it would like to get that advantage. But yeah, Mike, I think probably less a case of Paddy's tyres coming back to him and more a case of Mike just not being able to find the opportunity, and just Paddy doing really good defence here to hold on for these final 10 minutes. It'll be interesting to see if he can manage it.
Yeah, absolutely. Final 10, as you said, half a second still between Sneakers and Samuel. Paddle here has got back told ahead. Is anything going to be done of that? I don't think so. They will go up. No positions with that Mag 10 seconds, so Mags will probably be overall happy. Well, won't be happy with the penalty, but at least I reckon he'll be happy that he's only going to drop one position, because, I mean, even if that gap to Backtod was, I don't know, 3 seconds per se, he'd be out of the top 10 almost with that, so he'll be pretty pleased with that one overall. Coming through now, Porsche, looks like Paddy's got damage that he's having to nurse as well, so that's probably where a fair chunk of that tyre wear is actually coming from, is due to that damage. As this is really close now between these two. Samuel needs to get something done here. 10 minutes left. I think you just have to go for it. You've got no real choice but to just put all that pressure on, use some of the tyres and try and get past the Nikas. That's all you've got to do. It's a tough one, especially at a track like this that's not particularly wide, and there's not many overtaking opportunities, so you really need to pull this one off.
Yeah, following as close as you possibly can, almost making me a little nervous with just how closely he's following Peach there. But if I trust any two drivers to follow each other around this closely, it'd probably be these two, because they're very cool customers. As Peach not quite making the gains he has been making through that section. He still pulls away a little bit, but Samuel holding on, doing a very good lap this time around compared to some of the previous laps. We'll see Sneakers go through this tricky chicane section, hairpin section, whatever we're calling this section.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a section. So, just being told by Tarquin that Sadiq was actually on the grass through the final corner here, so that's definitely hindered his progress on getting away from Samuel again. But I mean, slipstream for Samuel doesn't mean anything. No, what does mean something is these blue flags up ahead. That's Rochford. So there's a numerous amount of cars in this train. It's about 4 or 5 cars in this one. I think it's 4. Car up ahead of that, but I don't think they're going to get to that point. 8 minutes to go now. Up to them. Track still no wind. 29 degree on track. Sneakers, getting a little bit wobbly, excuse me, English, through there. So very nicely done. He's actually pulled away from Samuel too. Didn't have a very good Sector 1. So if you can just keep that Sector 1 on Samuel and then come through Sector 2, I mean, he's going to be laughing, isn't he?
Yeah, definitely. But it's still either of their races. Like, you know, I called Peach at the start, but Samuel's still up there, and it's still on for P1 here. Sweet continuing to hold on to that nice little comfortable P3, as we see Hernandez gonna nicely hold on to P5 and top of AM, and yeah, so Veggio has really nice gap to Fleming behind and huge gap to Smee. So looks like our top sitters are all pretty much settled except for these the main ones, the top two, the pro split. They're coming through. Ooh, Sneaker's a little bit deep there. Not too bad. He's still holding on to it. The blue flags here hopefully not going to cause too much of an issue. Hopefully they'll let him by on the straight and do it in a smart way and not cost either of the drivers behind time.
All dirt from Sneakers there. These two drivers, I think we'll be expecting to see them in the Sim Magic GT3 Cup, I dare say.
I would hope so.
Ooh, this is good slipstream. Yep, Sneakers knows he's got to defend. I think he's just pulled that up. I reckon about a metre later and he would have gone quite deep there and locked up, but done well. Samuel had to just go earlier on the brakes just to try and maybe look out for that deep exit from Sneakers, but Sneakers didn't even blink to that one, so I don't think there's anything really warranting Sneakers needing to worry just yet. He's been fine at keeping him behind for this long. What's another 6 minutes going to hurt?
Yeah, that's it. He's holding on here, but God, it's only going to take one mistake here, isn't it?
Oh yes, only one mistake and could be game over for either of them. They've got 11 seconds to sweep though, so I don't think it's going to be really a case of not on the podium unless there's a big mistake. But these two just going at it with 5 minutes to go. And they've got some other blue flags. That's Withers up ahead, and then Smee's not too far ahead of him. That's really deep from Sneakers, but then Shady Samuel goes deep in the next corner. So they're just mimicking each other once again. They need to keep it tight, or at least one of them does, if they want to keep the position they're in.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like Samuel's taking advantage of any of those minor little mistakes that Peach has been making. Peach catching up to the blue flag ahead.
If I was with us, I'd be, yes, getting out of the way pretty quickly, I would, and he does so. Hats off to him. He knew there was a battle coming, so jumps out of the way. Sneakers, 5 minutes. This doesn't sound that long in time, but I mean in the laps, that is going to feel like a long 3 laps. Probably actually 4 laps, in fact.
Yeah, I'd say about 4, given the lap times that they've been doing. 4 laps too many, I think, for Peach at this point. I think Peach is ready for this race to end and ready to just claim that trophy.
Yeah, absolutely. It's certainly these battles between these two is what we've been seeing for most of the season. We have seen a couple of wins from Ben Ford as well, who cannot be with us tonight. So Sanika's holding this one out for now. Some other blue flags up ahead. Gets out of the way. Nicely done. So they're going to get on past. That was Smee. Good job from him. Sanikas just made that look easy. Shady Samuel's gone deep again, so Sanikas needs to just send it now, destroy those tyres, do whatever it takes to beat Samuel. I mean, it's still within a second the gap, but it's just going to have to be held tight here.
Yeah, Peach doing a fair bit better on that lap, I think. I've seen a few more little slides there from Shady, just little micro slides that you were talking about much earlier in the race, just little bits as he's coming out of the exited corners, so perhaps he's just cooked his tyres too much trying to keep pace with Peach, and he may not be able to get it done in these last few laps.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a tough one in general to overtake, but then just getting there in the first place is certainly half the battle. And they're coming on to the third last lap now. Sanikas comes round. See how he can do through here. Coasting nicely. Gets a touch early on power, but does still manage to hold the racing line. Let's see how much curb he takes through here. He takes most of it, so I'm hoping those tyres are not really too low on pressure, or else that could end badly for one of them. Samuel's going deep, and he's locked it. And this is the opportunity that Sneakers needs to get away, and he needs to do it now. Can he do it? Yes, he can, Bob.
taking good advantage there in the sector that he has been excelling at compared to Samuel. So holding on to this lead pretty convincingly. Both going through there okay, but yeah, again, Samuel just not quite hooking up that chicane as well as Peaches. Just shout out to Thistleweight too, who's now back up to P15 with those fresh tyres and is catching Fleming, so I wonder if he'll catch him before the end.
Yes, we'll have to see. Interesting thing I just noticed with Samuel is that his rears look fine. It's his fronts that have worn because he just can't get the turn in anymore. They're on the second to last lap though. Look at that. Apex not there on exit. It's not the end of the world, that line that he took, but even through that final sector, you can just see where Senekas is gaining the time, looking wide there. Exits look okay, but I don't think it's going to be enough, is it?
No, I don't think so. I think Sneakers has got this in the bag, assuming that he doesn't, have a bit of a slide or go too wide on a corner, or if the tyres don't just decide that they're finished for the day a little bit earlier than he'd like. I think he's pretty much got this in here. Shady's the one making the majority of the mistakes at the moment, seems to be the one struggling. As you said, it definitely seems to be the front end grip that's failing him. Yeah, you see it, once again, just not able to get the car hooked up and just can't push through there. If we go to a replay here, this is Mike Reel on Pat Oliver by the looks of it. What's happened here? Oh, Paddy.
Just held it. It just was very close.
Nope.
That's a big swing from Reel just after that mistake. Tap there as Seneca's final lap now. Back to a second gap to Samuel, so he can breathe a little bit now. Samuel's just trying to send it, can't get the turn in that he wants. Hours racing, Seneca's looking to take this one. Sweets in P3, Samuel P2. Johnson, good race overall, P4. Fernandez taking Pro-Am first so far, unless a massive mistake happens, but I don't think that's going to be the case. Senekas, though, just needs to hold this one out now. 0 on the counter, so final lap we are on. Coming through the fast right-hander. Nicely done. No tyres in the dirt. Nice through there. Sector 2. Just going to come through here. Of course, the Ferrari, as we said, is looking more optimum through here. Samuel can't get the exit that he wanted. He's trying everything he can, but Senekas is almost guaranteed to have this one in the bag unless there's a mistake through the final corner. That's Fleming getting out of the way. That was a good decision there. He knows they were coming. There was a battle going on, not so much now. Senekas goes a touch deep, but it's going to pull it up for the left-hander. Samuel has caught up a bit, but it's not going to be enough here at Zandvoort. Senekas is going to come through final couple of corners to take the win here at Zandvoort, and what a race it has been for JP Senekas. Took it on lap 1 from Samuel, and that was enough to hold for 60 minutes.
Yep, led it the whole way. Very good effort, but credit to Samuel too for absolutely sticking with him for that entire 60 minutes.
Yeah.
Never really more than 2 seconds away from him at any point. I didn't even think the gap was ever more than a second and a half, so very good effort from them. And yep, shout out to Sweet here. It comes in P3. Very nice, consistent drive there. Hopefully he hates the Porsche less now, but we'll see.
Wow, we'll see about that.
Johnson, another one, and a little bit of a silent achiever here. We didn't see much from during the race, but had a very good pace in qualifying that he couldn't quite hook together, but still manages to get P4 here. So good effort there from Johnson in that amazing looking McLaren. Fernandez in 5th. Mags will drop back another position, so that'll be 7th for him, but Bendai will get 6th after the penalty. Mike Reel, very good effort in the Aston, came from P10 I believe, and manages to get P8 here, taking Pat Oliver at the final moment there. Pat's tyres just giving up on him, I think, in those final things, but still manages to come in P9 with Bushell just behind, just holding on to P9 there. Bushell almost getting him at the line there, but not quite. Beethoven 11, Dryer, it will drop a few positions. Salvaggio is our lead AM driver and has done very well, very consistent. Manages to finish P13 up from about P15 where he was for most of the race. So very good drive for that top AM driver there.
Yeah, absolutely good AM win for Salvaggio. Thistlethwaite took the pit and comes across the line for P14. What a nice effort that was. Of course, to the results we go now. So overall, and in the pro, I guess you could say for the race, Sneakers, Samuel, and Sweet are your top three. Johnsons in there as well. In the pro-ams, we've got Fernandez taking out the win from Bendai and Real there for the top three. And in the AM class, of course, we've got Salvaggio, Smee, and Height for your top three. What a race that was.
Yeah, it was so tight there at the very top, and even all the way through the top 10. Like, there's a few changes of positions there, a few drivers, having a couple of mistakes, tyre wear coming into account, but still some good overtakes and some good consistent driving, I think, from a lot of the field there. So yeah, well done to everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you do want to get involved with this lovely racing series, 14 sign-ups for the Octane Online Racing Sprint Series are now out. Head to octaneonlineracing.com to get your registration in. You can also sign up for the Rookie Series. If you're new to sim racing, you want to get in on that. But of course, breaking news, Sim Magic GT3 Cup major sponsor announced this evening. If you want to get in on that action, also head to the website to get in on that. Of course, endorsed by Motorsport Australia. That is us done for Asia Pacific this week. Stay tuned in for North America and Europe. Thanks for joining me, Mike. It has been great fun.
Yeah, thanks, Mitch. It was a good race, and yeah, good to have a nice yarn with some excellent racing.
Absolutely. Stay tuned for Europe and North America as we head next week for Asia Pacific Sprint Series final round at Nürburgring. So stay tuned in for that. But from us here in the commentary box, thank you, Glenn, for casting this one, and we will see you next time.